Hello. Oh, there. I was muted. I totally was not muted. Welcome on in, everybody. Welcome on in, Relics. Hey, Queen. Welcome on in. You're sick and bored. Damn, 21s. You need to calm down, sir. It's been a minute since I've done a YouTube stream since I got bonked a while back. And then I was just I was scared to hit the button for a while, okay? But we're back for now until they're like, hey, you're not allowed to do that. Welcome on in, Jess. Hope you're doing well. How are we all doing? I've had a fairly... I'm not gonna call it crazy, but it has been a bit chaotic. Not sure if you remember Harley. Oh, okay, I got you. Alright. Welcome back, Queen. I'm pretty good. Paycheck hit early, so we're in business. And now I'm here. Which, today, nothing too crazy. Some reacts and all that good shit, you know. And I learned my lesson. I'm not doing kitchen nightmares while live on YouTube. I learned the lesson. This time. Yeah, I got paid a whole day early. Like it? No. It's technically like 3 days early because I'm supposed to get paid on Thursday. But we had our first snow of the season. I hate it. Thankfully, though, it was only like a dusting, so it was pretty manageable. However, with that said, despite it only being a dusting, we still had someone hit the fucking light fixture outside where I live. Which makes me really mad, cause y'all wouldn't know this, cause I pretty much don't mention it, but I've lived at this apartment complex for like, once this is my 3rd year, and the first 2 years, this entire fucking street lamp has not worked, has not been lit, and it was only maybe like, once it was like 6 months ago, they finally fucking fixed it. So it's like, oh yay, we can fucking see. And then this fucking guy just goes and hits the damn thing, and it's like, we can't get a year of light, please. Who hurt you? Oh, you're okay. You're okay, man. Bad driver. Try to be a good driver. Don't trust any others. I mean, I don't even have a license, okay? And I even I know how to drive. I don't have my license for personal reasons, but I do know how to drive. Just too fucking expensive. Hang a kerosene lamp from the light pole. I mean, I may as well at this point. How about no? Welcome on, Minno. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, we're like, I have been tempted to like take glow in the dark paint and just paint the entire pole. Just paint it. Have ribs. I am so jealous. I just got a fried chicken. And then I got the big sad because they didn't have the apple fritters. And I was looking forward to those. And it's like, oh, I wanted those really badly. So, fuck it. I'm buying stuff tomorrow to make them. We'll take Minno's ribs. But, like, how do you like your ribs? Like, is there, like, do you like it there's, like, a certain rub? Do you like barbecue ribs? Like, come on, man. You gotta give me some details here. You gotta give me something. Oh, which reminds me, speaking of food, they finally fucking fixed the shit downstairs. Which means probably, I'm not gonna say next week, but because I need to like figure out arrangements, setting up a shit. But cooking stream is finally back on the table because they finally finished all the work downstairs. I like food. Me too. Look, as long as that is not shellfish, you can give me that. Because your streamer cannot have shellfish. Shellfish is bad. Shellfish will put me on a one-way trip to the hospital. So, yeah, no. Not a huge fan of ribs. Bigger on barbecuing larger chunks of meat. Valid. Valid? See, I'm not really sure if there's like a specific type of meat I'm partial to. Of course I'm crabby about shellfish. It'll kill me. Probably. Or at the least, give me a very unfortunate hospital bill. Don't ask me how I know. Like, I probably like one bad experience from just outright rejecting people's food that they try and offer me at this point. Because I don't know why. And I can't understand. Maybe one of you can explain this. Where the fuck did people think allergies are suggestions or preferences? Like, hello, I'm just trying not to die. Hi Ruby, welcome on in. Like, I'm not trying to be an inconvenience. Like, why are you gonna ask me about my fucking allergies just to fucking ignore it and then wonder why I get pissed? Then I have to possibly go to the hospital 2-3 hours later if I'm lucky. If I'm unlucky, it'll be like 20 minutes. Hey, welcome on in Syndicate, welcome on Wraith. Some people have lost touch with reality some time ago. You know, sometimes I wonder if the world actually ended in 2012 and we're just all in a giant fucking simulation. Sounds like you joined in the middle of an interesting story. Why is my model spazzing? Stop it! Oh, it's the fucking light. Are you fucking serious? It's a window. Oh, you came in me trying to understand when people started considering allergies as suggestions. Because for some reason it has happened, I want to say it's like 5 times now. Someone has put some type of shellfish in my food and then proceeded to wonder either A, why I got pissed, or 2, why I had to go to the fucking emergency room. It's spazzing because there's a spaz controlling it. So true. So true. No shrimp. No shrimps. No shrimps for me, unfortunately. Actually, what if I just... This is about to fucking scuff. Bear with me. Just gonna turn it this way. And then... More for you. Hell yeah. Look, if you want to take like the shrimp and like let's let me take like a little extra of the side or whatever, like that's fine by me. I'm not that picky. How dare I stop breathing over a freaking meal? Yes, how dare I? How dare I do such a thing? Actually, what if? Actually, where the fuck is Master Chief? We're just gonna put Master Chief right up here, and that should block it. Maybe? We are improvising today. To avoid fucking model spazzing. Who did that? Who did that? That's the one thing I can't see. What the fuck? I missed it. I couldn't tell if that was like a subscriber or a thing. Fucking bot ricks. But yeah, so. Aw, thank you. But yeah, so after like 4 or 5 different attempts of people putting like some tortoise shellfish in my food, I've just been so close to just being like, I ain't accepting shit. You don't do dairy stuff unless it's eggnog, root beer floats. I still need to try root beer floats. I still need to. One of these, I could have bought the shit earlier for that. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. I can just order the stuff with the You done goofed? Yeah, I always goof. But that's okay. I'm always a goofball. But yeah, I figure I can just get the I can grab myself a root beer floats when I do like apple cider and stuff. Oh, thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you. So I did enable something a while back. And I mentioned it in Discord, but I mentioned it on Twitch the other day, a while back. But a member and, well, I guess technically it's subscribers for Twitch technically, but members' requests are back open. So if there's been like any specific like video or something you want to see, it makes it a lot more likely or guaranteed to happen. Because like if it's a reaction, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But if it's something a little different, like say like my friend who's been trying to convince me to do voice acting and voiceover work, it's considered but not guaranteed. Is that another one? Aww. Just some root beer and ice cream. Yeah, but like, not all root beer is equal. That is one thing I've noticed. Because I've had like 2 different types of root beer. I can't remember what the companies were right now. And I remember that they did not, they had a considerable difference when I had them. They were not the same. Yes, you have been witnessed. You have been perceived. Oh my god. I miss y'all on YouTube. I missed y'all. We're everywhere today. The 2 kinds of root beer, that is IBC and Moxie. I've never had either of those. Hey, welcome on in, Spider Bro. Hope you're doing well. So, I am pretty sure the only ones I've had, I think one of them started with a B. So that was probably Bark? I'm gonna assume the Q is supposed to sound like a K. And, I don't know what the other one was on top of my head now. I just drink ginger ale. Does that even count? Honorary mention! Barks. Okay. So, Barks of the bunch. Noted. Like, I'm pretty sure... Actually, let me just, find my, if I just look at the logos, I can probably figure out which ones I've had. Yeah, we can do that. We're just gonna close this. You know what? You can look with me. That's fine. One day I will buy a second monitor. Stewart's mention! God, I fucking miss Stewart's. They had them like all over the place in fucking New York. I miss Stewart's. I miss it so much. Oh yeah, Jones. A&W is the best of the common root beers. See, okay, so actually, I need an opinion. I have a question, or I want your guys' opinion. Why is English so hard? So, It was brought to my attention, I want to say, like, last month, that there is a place here that does like the old-fashioned like soda floats and shit. And I was debating if it would be better to like make one by myself or go somewhere, have it made, and try it that way. Because apparently we got this like old-fashioned place that does like root beer floats and like a bunch of like candy and everything. It's actually really neat. Okay, let me go look at these logos so I can try and figure out which fucking root beers I've drank. Because we already confirmed that I've had Barks. Actually, I'm gonna look up that one too, actually, just to be sure. Okay, I've definitely had Barks. I recognize that one. Barks is recognized. Hey, welcome on in, Doctor Who. Should check out the company makes old-fashioned floats. Yeah, I definitely need to. It's just on the other side of town. It's not like trying to go to the United States Air Force Museum, which I have to indefinitely put off going to. Because with the whole government shutdown, they're actually closed for the foreseeable time until they get their shit together. So, my trip is suspended. Which makes me big sad. Oh, did that enable? Motherfucker! I forgot. I was gonna pop it off for Halo. I forgot to disable it. God damn it. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little earlier, but it's fine. It's fine. This was the results from the design thing a while back. A legendary fumble. It's fine. It's fine. It's alright.
You fucked up.
I will take the fumble. It's not like the holiday outfit getting spoiled.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Alright.
Would you intercept me?
No.
I'd intercept me.
No. Alright. Hear me out. Question.
It was at this moment that she knew. She fucked up.
Do you want the armor for today? Or do you want my regular? It's up to you. Hey, welcome on, GB. I fat-fingered a button and spoiled something that wasn't ready for reveal yet. I've had this since, I've had it for a while. Yeah, like, I've had this since, I want to say I've got, like, when the fuck was the design contest? couple months after we went through the designs. So it was a while ago. Okay. Alright. So what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was looking at root beers. Yeah, so I don't think it was A&W. So you guys also said mug. Okay, that looks familiar. That looked familiar. So it may have been mug that I also had. Check Sprechers. Okay, I can check that one too. I can check that too. I dig the branding, but definitely was not what I had. So yeah, I think it was Mug and Barks. But I'm really happy that y'all like the armor despite it, the accidental reveal of it. Okay. So with that said, continuing our discussion about root beers. Do I remember which one I liked between the two? I think I liked Mug more. I'm pretty sure I liked Mug more. Although, honestly, if I'm gonna go like the whole 9 yards and make like root beer floats, I may as well just buy one of like each root beer I think I can tolerate and just do that until I can find my way down to the place that does the soda floats. You have so much insight for root beer. How much insight is there for root beer? It can't be that complicated. It can't be that complicated. There's no way. There's no fucking way. You like Sprechers. So, like, I was like, I know I'm not like the biggest fan of super sweet stuff, so I'm never really sure like which one I should go with for my best experience for having a root beer float. Buy one thing of each, a big thing of ice cream, and make a bunch of mini floats, compare the flavors. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's a fire brewed root beer. Oh, interesting. I am fascinated. 20 years of drinking root beer, I can tell you what brand it is based by the taste. So, I want to say you're probably full of shit, but I also know I've had plenty of like different colas where some of them are so like distinctly different that you can like identify what it is off the bat. Like I know for me, one of those was RC Cola. I could just tell. And that was mostly because when I was in high school, I was on the bowling team, and I had a lot of cola during our games and everything, and it was generally what they had there. So so it's like, oh, I recognize what this is off the bat just because I've had so much. You know, life root beer. Okay, that's fair. Make a ginger bug. Make sassafras juice, add a bit of sugar, 1 spot ginger bug cap, let it ferment a month, then you get root beer. Alright, alright. Although, I'm not gonna lie, I read it as root beer, and I just imagined like a brown bear just holding like a tankard, just drinking root beer. That's all I saw in my head. Oh? I don't even know what a sassafras is. Which I'm probably butchering the fuck out of that. Probably. You did spell a bear? Okay, okay. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. You know, if I can accidentally spoil a project I've had working on in the background for like weeks, you're allowed your typos. It's okay. Okay, oh, I am saying it right? Let's go. It's a tree. The original flavor root beer. Okay, okay. Alright, alright. That's actually pretty neat. I learned something new today. Traditional root beer is made with a spark. It's also a poison? What? Oh my lord. That is... Again, there's a lot of things that are poison that you might not think of at the bat. It's no longer used because it's a mild toxin. Aww. Is now made sarsaparilla? Well, I mean, the thing is, like, there's a lot of things that can be poison, especially with out moderation. Had root beer in a long time. So, I initially only like tried root beer a while back because I was considering making and having root beer floats. As some of y'all who were here a while back might remember the entire discussion. I've never had root beer floats or root beer. It says frost is toxic, but that's such a low dosage. You have to be trying to kill yourself with it. Well, I mean, it's like you could technically kill yourself with coffee too, but it would take a very large quantity to do so. To overdose on the caffeine and stuff. Hey, welcome on in, Inulak. Hope you're doing well today. It's similar to birch beer. Both are similar, same flavor. Okay. Right? You can also do it with water too. See, I don't have to worry about that one. Because I don't really like water. I mean, I could, but I don't. Alright, I'll get the hydrate. I'll get the hydrate. Where's my lemonade? There it is. "100% of the people that drink water die." True. You wanna know something else though? 100% of people that breathe do too. Water is bad for you. Thinking of the hydrogen monoxide website. Okay. So, fun fact. A while back, I was talking with Lilith, and at one point, we were talking. I didn't realize at the time she was talking about water because she was giving me in the chemical makeup or whatever, and I was so fucking confused trying to figure it out. And then she was like, "Oh, it's water." I'm like, "What?" Your streamer's dumb. Water is older than the sun. Is it? That's the first time I've heard that. I've never had green tea. Well, no, correction. I've had green tea. I've just never had, like, plain green tea. I don't remember what exactly it was called in the chemical makeup part of it. Have you seen what oxygen does to metal? Like the rusting, or are you referring to something else? Hydrogen dioxide. I couldn't tell you. I never took chem. I was a physics girly. I did math. And God forbid you do not want me doing math. I am bad at math, like astronomically so. Pretty sure hydrogen dioxide means 1 hydrogen, 2 oxygen. I'll take your word on it. I didn't take chemistry. Look, I'm just dumb, okay? Do I look like I have a brain? Because, this head is empty. There's nothing in here. There's nothing. It's just space. It's all space. Physics is just okay. Big rock goes smash. That's all the physics I know. I mean, yeah, I could see that. Need a weapon to match my armor. I've thought about it. I'm not sure what. And that's really my conflict on having a weapon with the armor. Because it's like, oh, well, maybe you could go and use like a firearm. Maybe maybe I could get a sword. Maybe I could go like energy swords or like the gravity hammer. Like, there's so many options, and I'm just like, there's too much. There's too much. I can't decide. High-tech armor calls for low-tech open. I mean, I could just, like, get some, like, giant, like, power gauntlets. And we can talk in the glory of combat! Open bolt, fully automatic, 12 gauge. And it just has, like, energy rounds. Hearing toggles. Yes. Yes, yes, you are. You are hearing that correct. The spear. Valid. Also, a monomolecular sword. Why limit to one? Why not just get a whole goddamn armory? Cause you know, girls need options. Why stop at one? Why not get like 20? The sniper rifle on the back while holding an AR. I'm gonna have to decline the sniper for lore, because I don't like snipers. A dream where you build an open 12 gauge. I mean, fair. Jump from 1 to 20 real quick. I mean, 20 is the minimum. I mean, you gotta think bigger. Because, I mean, we can get a bunch of assortments for, like, physical melee combat augmentation, and then we can get into, like, the medium range, get into the long range, and then if we want to get really fancy, we can go even bigger. Just an AR. Considered. It is considered. I'll put that way. No. Maybe you should just be like an RPG or like a grenade launcher. 'Cause I like explosions. Junior Sergeant, Finnish Army, you shot with 3 different sniper rifles. Fancy! I've never... Oh, no. I've only fired a gun once, and that was a rifle. And holy shit, that hurt. But I'm not telling that story again. Because I swear my shoulder hurts every time I think about it. Unless you'll want to hear it again, which by all means I will go retell it. But TLDR, 1920s rifle that my dad owned, that after he passed, my dad got, and then, hey, happy birthday, Yuki, have a giant hug. Okay. So, let me see if I can pull up here what it was. And maybe not, like, break anything. Because this thing was a rather old weapon. I want images. This would probably be the closest to what it looked like in my limited old memory of over 10 years ago. Because it's probably like 12. Aww. Wait until you fire a shotgun. Alright, so my dad had a 1920 Remington. Which I don't have it in my possession. I don't actually even know what happened to it after my uncle died, cause he took it. But it's kind of like the big one on the left here, or wait, right. But so they got it because my dad didn't really take care of it. He didn't really do much with the firearms when I was a kid. He just mostly I'm gonna say this. I know it was not smart, but he literally just had it stored in an unlocked closet leaning against a wall. Granted, it was not loaded. So after my dad died, I ended up going over to my uncle's. And at one point, he was like, "Oh shit," because he didn't like really like keep it anywhere like properly like in a case or anything. It was just out in like some like it was like in some sort of like cloth, and I'm not sure what it was. So it's not that uncommon. Yeah, but he left that bitch unlocked. Like, thankfully, he didn't really keep like the munitions for it or anything. But so my uncle gets it. He looks at it, and he's going through the motions. Decides to get it all cleaned up, make it nice and shiny, and then they decide after this thing hasn't been fired for like, it was probably at least 15 years at that point. So they're like, okay, let's fire this thing. So they got the ammunition, and my two uncles fire it, and one tells me it's not gonna have a lot of kick, and then one tells me there's no kick. So, and mind you, at this point, I have never fired a gun, so I didn't know what to expect. So he's like, "Oh well, I'm gonna help me with the whole how to hold it, this and that." And that fucking thing kicked, and it's like, this is not a little kick, you fucking asshole. One speaks only lies, the other speaks mostly lies. Honestly, I would have preferred the I preferred the, oh, it's a little kick, but it's like, this was not a little kick. That shit fucking hurt. Cause I'm not knowing what to expect. Isn't that bad? Yeah, but when you're not expecting it, or you've never fired one, you don't know what to expect or how much of like motion or recoil it's gonna get. While I'm on Google, look up a 50 cal Thunderbolt. I don't believe they did. I don't think so. What difference would that have made? I'm not gun smart, so do tell me. Leaning is part of it. Would leaning have made it better or worse? Technically, they didn't lie. You're saying there was barely a gap for that. That's honestly probably what it was. Okay, let me, you said a, 50 cal Thunderbolt? If I could fucking spell. I'm having one of those days today. Yeah, like they told me to have like a good grip on it, but outside that they didn't tell me shit. So it was not a good time. Granted, the top left. Okay, what about it? Brandon Herrera's AK-50. That reminds me, I need to watch the third part of the AK-50 videos. 50 BMG pistol. Okay, fancy. Probably would have helped distribute the weight through the body. Yeah, that probably would have helped. It probably would have helped a lot. But yeah, that's the story of me and the first time I ever fired a gun. Although, I will say, it hasn't, like, dissuaded me on ever, like, wanting to go try other, like, weapons or go to the range and whatnot, but I'm not allowed to own them, though. Decided to steal Brandon's AK-50. I did. I think he mentioned that in one of his videos. I think that they took it. Which, on one hand, it's like I get it, but on the other hand, it's like, please. 50 cal pistol breaks one's arm. Ugh, just the crack of that just sounds painful. You're either like weaponry, especially older weaponry. See? I'm pretty sure I've said this before. I have no problem with guns. I just think they're a little too impersonal.
Emotional damage!
They're too impersonal for me. Byproduct of liking history. No shit. History is fucking fascinating. Ian Forgotten Weapon also did a video on the AK-50. Oh. Interesting. Y'all should, like, totally, like, slide that video into Discord so I can have an easy link to it. Every girl must have one. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like, I'd be more inclined to actually, I'm not gonna say that because I'm on YouTube right now. I'm gonna hold my tongue. I'm avoiding the bonk. You prefer a spear or a polearm? I like spears. I like polearms. I really like halberds, but there's something about the good old sword. Yes, bitches love cannons. I would also be one of those bitches who love cannons. Because, I mean, why stop at one? We should have like 25, 30, 100. I mean, let's get as many cannons as we fucking can. Also, Helsinger Bridge is goated. If you have not seen it, you should totally go watch it. Just saying. Write that bitch a poem. Bitches love poems. Well, you know what? And you should also hear me out. Write it with the blood of your enemies. Aw, thank you. You do like swords. Over a spear or a polearm, like a halberd, spear and usability. Yeah. It would be better that, you know, they don't get as close. You know, but my poems usually go into eldritch horror territory. Oh? Do tell. Do tell. Look, I know a little too much into stuff like Cthulhu and stuff, so bring the Eldritch Horrors! Not actually, though. Give me the writing. I don't want to have to, like, hope everything works. Which I do. I don't know when. I need to figure out times, but I would really, really love if we could just, like, get a giant group together and we can play, like, Call of Cthulhu. It's probably one of my favorite fucking games. But no one locals around that wants to play it! I may be obsessed with tabletops. Maybe just a little. Just a little bit. We don't talk about my D&D book collection. We don't talk about that. Chthonian and such. Yes. Videos in Discord. Awesome. Thank you. I will grab that in a moment. I wasn't expecting to be yapping this much. Okay, hold on. If you're gonna call me a nerd, I need to give you a little context. Let me just, find the image here. I know I posted it in a Discord a while back. I don't think it was my own Discord, though. Should be this one. Look, if you're gonna call me a nerd, dweeb. From Been Bloodborne, discover H.P. Lovecraft. Okay. This is only part of the collection. This is only part. That's almost all of 5th edition's books. And then some other, like, Transformers tabletops and some other shit there. So you could call me a nerd, you can call me a dweeb. It's fine. It's fine. I am one. Guilty as charged. I need friends that I can play stuff with. But schedules. One day. People's collections. Oh, you stop. You stop. +1. Ah! We all need a D&D friend group. Yeah. Like, so the hard thing about, like, D&D, which I'm pretty sure, maybe not, maybe once I was talking with somebody else, I don't remember anymore, but I know it's definitely mentioned with my sister, who also GMs, but we were talking about how, like, with the whole popularity of stuff like Critical Role, that there's a lot of people when they get into D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, and, like, even, like, other, not necessarily Dungeons and Dragons, but other games that are tabletops, that they go in with this expectation that they're gonna have that same, like, Matt Mercer experience, which isn't feasible. And honestly, I hate it, because it's like, oh, like, we want to share all this love of the different, like, the games, but everyone, like, has different DMs. With the DMs, sometimes they have different interpretations of the rules. Some are, like, gonna be a lot stricter on what the books are, versus some that'll be like, I'm gonna bend the rules just to see where the fuck this goes. So, yeah, one does not just imitate Matt Mercer. You just don't. And even then, you also have to factor in the actual group, because if you have people that they're not really getting into it, they're not really, like, getting invested in the game, the story, they're not really getting into, like, maybe even, like, role-playing their character, it gets really, if you don't get, like, those, like, connections rolling and started, it makes a really bad time. Like, I love Matt Mercer's work. I enjoy seeing it as a DM, but I know for one, I couldn't give that to a group right now. I couldn't do it. I don't have the experience, nor, like, generally, I don't have the group composition, morale, dynamic to even pull that off remotely. I'm gonna take a large drink here. Holy yap session. I know I really want to play Shadowrun again, but drawing up many worlds and plots and weapons for potential D&D games. So I'm guilty of doing the same. Like, at one point, actually, I can't even say at one point, because I actually did. One of my favorite worlds to do campaigns for is Eberron. However, a lot of the material for Eberron is like third edition, or it's like Pathfinder. There's nothing really for 5th edition aside from like the world book. So it's just like, so at one point I was so frustrated with this. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go buy the old fucking book, and just spent like a week or so just converting shit over so I could use it for 5th. Most DMs can't take the critical role experience, and that's normal. Yeah, it's also the players. It's not just the DM. And unfortunately, there's a lot of newer like people to D&D that don't realize that they have to be involved. They have to be invested. They have to be actively participating. The DM cannot do it by themselves. Trust me, if we could play D&D by ourselves, a lot of us would. Because god damn it, constantly being the DM sucks balls. Okay, let me grab that video. Do not know the rules of D&D, nor have you ever played, blah 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 blah. See, but here's the thing. You could easily take all of that and say like, oh, this person is like, it's like a fighter, this person's a paladin, this person's a cleric, this person's a fucking descendant of, I don't know, we'll say my brain's failing right now. For simplicity purposes, I'll say Zeus. Like, you can easily, like, you can take that, those, like, little details, and you can easily piece them together into actual, like, NPCs. You can entirely just start piecing it all together. Because, like, homebrews are a thing. I fucking love homebrews. Granted, I think they're a lot more work, but this is a good choice because he did everything. You see, I was going to like, oh, you have a demigod, but demigods are kind of tricky. Yes, he did. He did it. Yes, he really did, though. He really did. And not in a good way. Definitely not in a good way. Alright, let me grab this video. I've been yapping so much today. No, YouTube. You are not auto-playing. I said you're not auto-playing! Fucking YouTube. I swear. Where did my thing go? Where'd my chat go? There it is. 10 of nations going to battle, falling and rising. Yep. You know, I keep forgetting to do that. Well, the thing is, autoplay is off, and it tries to do it anyway. I do like those campaigns, I just find them really difficult to maintain. Because I'm the one who would like lose track somewhere, or like I'll forget to write something down that happened in a session and completely forget it when it's like really important later. Keep track of your notes, people. They're super important. Alright. The true players are characters that are possible not to love just to kill them before the playful who loves them the most. See? Like, it doesn't, like, my autoplay is off, but I think all that does, it just stops the next video from playing. It doesn't, like, actually stop them from playing off the bat once it's loaded. And see, I have that sense of humor that, if I know my players are going to be attacking a NPC, or they're more than likely going to, see, what I'll do is I will take the NPC that I'm like 90% sure they're going to attack, and I will put that bitch like 7-8 levels above them. And it's just like, can y'all not? Please? Can y'all not kill the important NPCs? Can y'all not murder the shopkeeps? Or the bartender, the tavern keep? I mean, you can harass the guards, I don't give a shit. Harass the Knights of the Order, go ahead. Harass the Harpers, the Lords. Hell, even the Enclave. But please, leave some of the poor vendors alone, I swear to God. You can see how annoyed I get. It's fine. It's fine. All retired shopkeepers are level 20 retired adventurers. Exactly. That's kind of my logic, because especially like if it's like even an adventurers guild, especially, it's like that person behind that desk, if it's like in a guild, has probably seen some shit. And has probably heard a lot of shit too, that they'll know how to handle some of your ass. Okay, I need to kick out my life if my tracking gets really weird. Ultimate power move is not touching NPC level, but give them an amulet with 1 charge of legendary resistance, and all the experienced players will freeze. Yes, yes, yes. So much yes to that. I like that idea. That is beautiful. Okay. Alright. Let me get into the actual video part of the stream. Which, we'll start with the Forgotten Weapons video. And if YouTube bonks me again, they bonk me. It's fine. Y'all know where else to find me if I get bonked. Because I intentionally waited for my my warning to fall off before I start streaming again on YouTube. Eating taters, hell yeah. I'm not sure what I'm gonna have for dinner tonight. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have like fried chicken or if I want to make lasagna. I'm not really sure yet. I'll figure that out later. Player, I cast Ray of Frost on the old shopkeep. Burn a legendary resistance. Honestly, I love the some of the really high challenge rating boss blocks. There are any types of reacts I do not do, such as lore videos or stupidly in-depth breakdowns. Varies. It varies. Like, I don't hate lore videos, but there is... How do I put it? It's hard to be invested in a lore video if it's not exactly something I specifically am really interested in. Just like some stupidly in-depth breakdowns, I can kind of fuck with because I really love learning about things. But like lore ones are a little, it's nuanced. No most players shopkeeping old man loves and just you're more than welcome to post them and you can go from there. Now let me move my head out the way. Whoa, too far. Alright. So this is... Alright, Syndicate, appreciate you hanging out. Yeah, so yeah, lore videos are gonna be, it's like a hit and a miss. Okay, so this one here is Forgotten Weapon, or rather AK-50, how hard could it be? Brandon, God, his last name gets me every time. Herrera? Is it Herrera? Brandon Herrera's 10-year project, and this video is by Forgotten Weapons. Okay, I did get his name right. Okay. My brain works somewhat. Just not as well as I'd like some days. But just fine. It's fine. Alright. I just broke something. Okay, this works. This works.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum, and today we're taking a look at a weapon that isn't quite forgotten yet. This is Brandon Herrera's AK-50. And I'm here visiting, and I figured it'd be really cool to take a look at this, not just the current iteration of it, but also the V2 and the V1. So what we've got for you today is the full evolutionary process of almost 10 years of AK-50 development. And there's still, this isn't quite the finished product yet. We'll get to where it's going at the end. But
when was this video made, just for context? Well, this video was 5 days ago. Okay, so this is really recent. This is really recent. Okay. Okay. That's cool.
At the beginning, we're set in 2016. Brandon Herrera is basically just out of high school. He's playing with some AK building in the garage, likes the platform, thinks it's really cool. And the concept is like, hey, how about scaling up the AK to 50 BMG? Like, how hard could it be? The answer, by the way, spoiler, is actually quite difficult.
As when everybody asks if how hard something is, it's never simple.
It's not easy at all. But at the time, you know, seems simple enough. AKs are cheap and readily available and easy to work on, so let's just make a 50 caliber one. So he actually makes a dummy mock-up 50 cal AK out of aluminum. It's actually, these are a couple bits of it, takes it to SHOT Show, puts it out on a table, and like there's a lot of interest. This is theoretically going to be the cheapest semi-auto 50 cal rifle on the market because, hey, AKs are simple and cheap, right? Fortunately, he was apparently fairly quickly relieved of that notion because it turns out like AKs are not cheap and are not super simple. AKs are elegantly put together, but there's a lot of detail and a lot of complexity that goes into them appearing to be simple and super reliable. So with the aluminum mock-up out of the way, there's serious intent to like, let's actually do this. Let's make it happen. So the very first version of the gun, V1, is Brandon Herrera and a local gunsmith near him named Chris Baker. And the two of them set out to make a functioning gun. And as you can see here, they pretty clearly copied a milled receiver AK in a lot of its details and actually made it mostly work. So let's take a closer look at this, and then we'll come back and talk about where the project went next. All right, if you look at the side here in the lightning cut, it's a little hard to read, but AK-50E, serial number 0001. This is the first one. Unfortunately, as is so common of developmental prototype firearms, the bolt and carrier have...
AK is modern day. Most you could buy a Paladin for $75. I'm sorry, what? I don't even know what the fuck a Mosin is.
Have been lost over the years. Several of the other parts, like the gas block, were repurposed onto later iterations of the gun. So all that remains of it is this barreled action. The barrel was a turned down Browning M2, surplus Browning M2 machine gun barrel. This actually has a barrel extension added to it, and then set into what is clearly a replica of a milled AK receiver. Would have taken, or did originally take, a standard AK fire control group, which is kind of funny. You know, the gun's about 200% scale, but still uses the standard original fire control parts. And well, there's not a whole lot to see here, but this was version number 1. By the time it came to the end of its useful life, it was able to fire, extract, and eject, but never successfully feed cartridges. So with version 1 of the gun half working, like it would fire, it would extract and eject, but it wouldn't feed. Okay, lessons have been learned. There are fundamental issues with that milled receiver.
Okay,
like
appreciate that context.
The proper next step is to start from scratch with a new base gun. And they decide to go to a stamped receiver at this point, not because that's the requirement of AK evolution, but rather because the stamped sheet metal receiver, or kind of press, break, bent sheet metal receiver, is a lot more economical than making milled, fancy, feature-rich receivers. So we evolved to variation 2, V2 of the gun. This guy, the big old stamped receiver, and this begins circa 2019. And at this point, it's Brandon Herrera, and he's brought in like half a dozen interns, excited young gunsmiths, the whole program he puts together is called Brass Valley. And these guys, working collaboratively, figure out how to turn the V1 into a gun that will actually feed as well as fire and eject. And this project takes several years of work and ultimately culminates in some pretty cool video that's Herrera posts on YouTube of this thing functionally, successfully firing off of a Bren gun tripod. And it was almost fully reliable. So let's take a look at what specifically went into V2. All right, version 2 here is substantially different and also substantially more complete, which is nice. So if you take a look at this up close, of course, we've got rivets. We've got rivets all the way back here. And this was actually not so much a stamped receiver as a receiver made from a piece of square tube stock, which makes sense, easily available off the shelf. It also has a turned down surplus Browning M2 barrel with a ginormous muzzle brake on it. Gas tube is sort of loosely fitted here, stays in place as long as you've got the bolt carrier in there. This is very much a proof of concept. Well, I guess it's one step beyond a proof of concept gun. Very much still an experimental gun of let's figure out how to actually make something like this work. It does actually use an AK recoil spring guide with an added extra spring at the front there. And then we've got an added buffer back here.
You could not trust me with those springs, because I'd be too inclined to play with them.
That comes out with a heavy buffer spring. And then we can pull the bolt back. There was actually never a charging handle on the bolt. Still just very much a test bed sort of design. This is going to... There we go. The bolt lifts out kind of like an AK bolt, but then we have to do some sort of fiddly games with the bolt head in order to get it out of the receiver. All right, that. You then rotate the bolt carrier upside down, and it'll come out. And pull the bolt out. So it disassembles like an AK. You may notice triangular bolt head. So 3 large locking lugs. The extractor is no longer in this one. This is one of the areas where this has some significant variation from a true Kalashnikov, which of course has a very different style of locking lug design. And the reason for that is simply...
Actually, no,
when
I
you
don't.
get up to the scale of 50 BMG and combining the geometry of the locking lugs with magazine feed, the triangular bolt design is just almost a necessary adaptation.
It's going to be one
If
that
you look at other
subscribe
50 cal
quests. Oh, that'd be really
self-loading
neat.
rifles, if you look at the Serbu, if you look at the Barrett, if you look at the Leader, they all use this sort of triangular bolt head. And so it's a concession to reality and practicality to not just try to slavishly copy the AK design, but bigger, but instead go to a bolt head that makes a lot more sense. The cam here is welded on. They initially had a pin with an M14 roller lug on it, and the impact of firing just continuously broke M14 roller pins. So they ended up eventually abandoning that. You can see there's where the pin was originally on the other side. Welded on a shaped AK pattern cam lug instead, went with that. You can see here you've got the rotating cam in the bolt carrier. And the gas piston, this is kind of entertaining, was adjustable for length, so they could tune it to the length that they needed, and then the jam nut that holds it in place is actually an AK muzzle nut. With the bolt carrier out, the gas tube just comes off, and that's a very simple, just plain piece of tube for a gas tube. The front trunnion here has, you can see the triangular opening for the bolt, and then there are locking recesses cut inside there that the bolt locks into. Functions very much, I mean, it really is a large AK style trunnion. You can see that the receiver is bent into guide ribs or guide cuts in the front trunnion there, riveted in place. Not the world's prettiest rivets. This is why this is
No one said it'd be
version 2,
pretty.
not a more complete further version. I asked why the SpongeBob tape. The answer is this uses an AK mag release, kind of on a little extender here, and it wasn't good enough. Under recoil, this would actually drop the magazine from the force of recoil, and they made a sort of half-hearted attempt to tape the magazine in place, having typically, predictably perhaps, SpongeBob SquarePants tape. That didn't work either, so they just slapped it on the side, and it kind of became a thing and stayed there. But fire control group is standard AK, the grip is an AK, the mag release is AK. To me, it's actually kind of impressive how much of this are actually AK parts. I would expect.
Welcome, my name's Danny. Hope you're doing well today.
Original AK parts, but you know, it actually
Caught
works.
me making a coffee.
The fire control pins are new because they have to be longer because the receiver's bigger. But I mean, you look at this internally, it is very much an AK structure. You got two guide rails spot welded in. There's your fixed ejector. The magazine that this was built around is the Barrett M82 magazine. That is the obvious go-to magazine to use. Magazine design is one of the hardest elements of firearm design. Having an existing, reliable, available, good magazine is a huge boon to any sort of project like this, and it makes absolute 100% sense to just use standard Barrett mags. So that's what this did. V1 actually, I believe, used a Barrett mag as well. V2 used a Barrett mag. And then this is the condition at which that the V2 got to. So it never had a top cover. You can see it's got the lug here for mounting on a tripod for test firing, and then there's a similar lug bolted onto the back, kind of extended out like that, just so it was long enough to fit on the Bren tripod that they were using.
How's your day going, Danny?
This never was to the point of being a shoulder fireable rifle. Never had a bipod, never had a top cover, never had a buttstock on it. It was this as a test bed. So with version 2 mostly working now, they've escalated, improved from it would fire but not feed to it'll feed almost a full magazine most of the time. Now, everything that can be learned and can be done with the V2 receiver has been done and has been learned. And it's time to start with a third brand new gun. And that's where we get the V3. And at this point, the design has evolved, the understanding of the system and the engineering has evolved to the point that the design crew, which is now Brandon Herrera and several of the Brass Valley guys, and then some other friends and colleagues and consultants, people who are interested in the project. It really is a relatively large team effort to put this together. They've gotten to the point where they understand how to make the gun work, and now they want to make one that not just works, but also looks good. And that's where V3 comes in. So let's take a look at this, because it really is remarkably impressive. All right, this thing is, I have to say, quite impressive. I hadn't seen this in person myself, and getting a close look at it.
Okay, that does look pretty.
So we still have the 10-round Barrett mag used to feed, an obvious, excellent choice, of course. Then, this carries over really a surprising number of AK design elements, AK aesthetic elements. A few things that are different. First off, it doesn't have a dust cover safety lever, just scale-wise. The safety dust cover thing doesn't scale up very well to fit this sort of rifle. Now, they were experimenting with a sliding dust cover here, kind of like you find in the Saiga 12. And you'll see on the bolt carrier a few design characteristics from the Saiga 12 for that sort of thing. This isn't a final design. Something like that is probably still coming, but it's not on this model. Just point out a few other elements here. Bulged front trunnion, because it's a freaking enormous 50 cal barrel. And again, AK visual cue there. A single piece monolithic aluminum handguard that's actually held onto the receiver by a taper pin here, which is a pretty cool design feature. We'll get to that in a moment. We've got the gas block up at the front, barrel, muzzle brake. I think really the thing to do at this point is just dive into the disassembly. It is intended to be a toolless disassembly, and it almost is. So what you do...
If he hasn't patented it yet, I'd probably suggest he does before one of the larger gun companies try and take the design and try and patent it for themselves.
To begin is pulled down on this pin, and initially it had a little ring pull in it. However, the strength of the spring inside, they had to keep increasing it to keep the dust cover in place until they eventually got to the point.
I'd probably get some bad publicity if they did that, though.
Spring to use with
The gun company, if they tried to.
Pop that down. All right, with this all the way down, I can then pull the dust cover off the back. The Trishicon can take it. There we go. So that slides up and off. And there is a folded dust cover. Like, it's pretty cool and impressive. They glued on a cheek weld that's just held in place with JB weld, but remarkably hasn't gone anywhere through several hundred rounds of firing. Lug that locks into the back of the receiver. This is a little bit simpler than a traditional AK dust cover because it's just open at the back, so it's just a two-dimensional folded design instead of having to have a much
it'd be an easy lawsuit.
Pressing at the back.
100%.
At this point, I can take.
But it doesn't mean they're smart, though.
There we go. That is a tapered lug right there that locks into this feature on the back of the top cover and presses it forward, holding it firmly in place, which allows that rail on top to hold zero. So we have, again, a buffer spring back here. I'm going to take the buffer spring out first. It's going to give me a little more space to work with here.
I really love, like, passion projects. Or, like, when people are, you can tell they're really invested in the projects that they're working on. Like, I think it's really cool. Doesn't stop people. Yeah, that's what you call idiots. And then they get mad when people come up with the stuff and then they lose their ass in court. Or then they have to settle and then, yeah. Which, speaking of patents and lawsuits, fuck Nintendo.
There we go. I can lift the guide rod out, pull out a very long double recoil spring. This then comes out, take it to there, and there we go. That's just essentially the buffer piece. Then we can go ahead and pull the bolt and carrier out. This is a much simpler piece to remove than on version 2, and there have been a number of significant design changes to the carrier. Go ahead and take the bolt out. The cam lug on this is kind of ludicrously oversized, but I mean, if it was me, I'd rather have it oversized than undersized, and it seems to be doing
the multi-billionaire company does not need you running defense.
Blade extractor, or blade ejector extractor here. They started simple, as many designers do, and then eventually realized they had to upgrade this thing to S7 tool steel, which is a remarkably tough steel to use, which a lot of designers end up discovering they need to use for small, high-stress parts like extractors. So the bolt carrier now has a rail down here to help control cartridges in the magazine while the bolt's cycling. And then maybe the most interesting thing is they've added a hinge. The hinge is actually out of a PK. The cutout here is taken from a Saiga 12 to help work with a sliding dust cover. And then we actually have the gas cup, or the end of the gas piston, off of a Mag 58 as a way to try and soften the extraction of the gun. They went to a Mag 58 cup out here, which increases the internal volume of the initial expansion chamber in the gas port, or sorry, in the gas block, and sort of reduces initial.
I read your comment, and I will give you my 2 cents on that after this.
Full opening velocity of the gun. So a lot more detail, technical work going into the design at this point. Also, by the way, the slot here, again, a feature taken off the Saiga 12.
But I know exactly who you're talking about, I'm pretty sure.
Sliding dust cover. One other cool developmental element here is that the section of the bolt carrier right here that contains this cam track is actually a separate component that is very tightly fed. It's actually hammered into place, but it's separate from the main body of the bolt carrier, and they did that because they weren't sure exactly what profile of cam track was going to be necessary, and they wanted to be able to change it without having to manufacture an entirely new bolt carrier. So it's two-piece there. Speaking of which, at this point, this has evolved a bit beyond just an ugly ad hoc shop project. And so most of the, in fact, pretty much all of the main pressure-bearing components were shopped out to professional CNC manufacturing shops. So the bolt, the carrier, the front and rear trunnions, or at least the front trunnion, this handguard in particular, all went out to professional shops to be manufactured, and in the case of things like the bolts, heat-treated. If you watch Herrera's channel, you may have seen some of the story about this handguard. Like, it's a single monolithic aluminum handguard that is kind of ludicrously complicated, and they did a collaborative effort with a company called Titans of CNC that wanted to showcase their ability to make ludicrously complicated parts. And so it actually worked out to be a fairly symbiotic relationship where they were able to specify some weird stuff like this. Titans of CNC was able to make it and use it as a promotional thing for their own business. So that worked out nicely for them. The barrel at this point is no longer a turned down surplus M2 barrel. It's actually a match grade precision 50 caliber barrel blank that was then turned down to the specific desired weight, and also given a couple of different patterns of fluting. Looks cool, reduces weight a little bit. By the way, the markings on the trunnion here, AK50 V3 serial number 1. Taking a look inside the receiver, we still have really an AK receiver. The fire control group is still actual AK components. The pistol grip assembly is still an actual AK component. It is a Zenitco one that I think looks pretty ugly, but I guess it fits the style of the rifle. The pins, again, have to be made longer, and in fact, they've added support brackets to the outside, because without those, the longer pins immediately started bending. Because in theory, if you were going to make a solid pin this wide, you would want to make it larger in diameter than standard AK pins, at which point they would no longer fit in the standard AK fire control parts, etc., etc. This sort of stacking, cascading problems. And the solution there was you add support so that you can then use the original diameter pins. The handguard is still a bit of a work in progress. It is held in place by a tapered screw that pulls the handguard in against the trunnion, which locks it up nice and tight. It's a solid aluminum handguard, so the top rail on this, unlike traditional AKs, I suppose, will actually hold zero very, very well. It's just complicated, and it's a little sticky to get apart. Apparently, it was really nice and smooth when it was brand new, and now with a couple hundred rounds worth of carbon distributed across it, it's rather difficult to get apart. So we're going to leave that on there. There's frankly not a whole lot to see. You've just got a gas tube, barrel, gas block, just those normal gas block things. It's an AK gas block. And then muzzle brake on the end, held in place by actually an AKM plunger pin right there. So there are a lot of Easter eggs of AK, like actual original AK components built into this guy. In fact, there's another one in the recoil spring. This is not an actual original AK spring guide. It's significantly longer, but it works
not the long
way.
Springs again.
And they use the end cap from an original AK spring guide as the end cap, because why not? It needs to do the exact same job. Here's one more neat feature, a weird screw on the side of the front trunnion. What is that for? Well, that is essentially what you call a bump pin. So on a 100 series AK, like this Saiga, you have a little pin.
Yeah, the AK-50 is beautiful.
It is a special flattened out rivet, and its job is to essentially bump start the bolt, to force it to begin rotating once it gets to that point in its cycling. You don't want the bolt to rotate while it's going across the magazine and starting to feed. You do want it to rotate once it gets to that point. So that little bump is there to push the bolt out of its straight track. This screw is the exact same thing for the AK-50. And I don't think I can quite get, oh, there it is. So right up above my finger there is a much larger version of the same sort of thing to do the same job, and it's a screw on the outside instead of a rivet here. So this thing is way too large for me to fit all in one camera shot, so this is the best that we're going to be able to do here. But there it is. There is the version 3 of the AK-50, all field stripped out for you. So at this point, version 3 of the gun is pretty solid. Like, it's not that, you know, I've put 10,000 rounds through it flawlessly without a single malfunction. It gets the occasional malfunction, but it's got about 500 rounds through it. Considering that this is still, in every sense of the word, a prototype gun, that's pretty darn good. And frankly, almost like 9 years of development work to get to this point is pretty kind of on the ball for most firearms development. People think this stuff's easy. It is, in fact, not easy. So V3 is not a complete finished product. I asked the guys here, like, so what would you change for a version 4? And they pulled out the book of things that need to change, which really doesn't include anything fundamental, but it includes a smorgasbord of small detail changes. Little things like
I'm sorry, when you said just like a book, I just imagined like this giant like chapter book or a notebook just being slammed on the table. I want to change all this. And it's just imagine like this giant out of like a textbook behind it.
This radius is cut at not quite the right space, and we need to change it a little bit because we're getting wear on this part. Or the lockup for the front magazine lip isn't quite big enough, so it's a little finicky to get the magazine in. You know, it works, but it's a little finicky. So we need to adjust this and adjust that and tweak this. And that's where this gun now sits as of basically late 2025. I'm not entirely sure what the future plans are for this. That's something that's frankly up to Brandon Herrera to decide if this will become a commercial item or a limited production commercial item, or if it's just going to remain his one-off fun project. So time will tell. It was very cool of him to give me the opportunity to show you guys all 3 of these. I think this is actually like the most disassembly
Here's a
that
4,000
has
page
been
essay
published on
on
the
what
version
Brandon
3,
wants to
and
change for the
probably only time that
AK-50 V4.
The whole sequence of experimental iterations has shown up on camera. So thanks, Brandon, for that. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.
Yes, it's 4,000 pages of everything. Alright, let me just switch screens here real quick. Alright, so let me catch up on chat here for what I missed. So kudos first with the whole like lawsuit stuff for Japan and the Nintendo patents. Fuck Nintendo. I'm really happy that some of their patents were denied and others are being reinvestigated and reopened. Yes, please. It's okay, Alex. It's okay. I know a lot of people when they join the Discord, they don't hit the acknowledgement for the rules, and they just sit in limbo and they don't say anything. And I'm just like, is this a bot? But, so, you're nuclearly terrible at tech. Have you met me? I am terrible at tech too. So, I did see a lot of the, some of the, like, AI, stuff you're telling me about with the whole Pokemon stuff. I did see a lot of that. And the T100 in your Discord starting to sweat. No! No. So, like, deadass, I posted a thing, a while back about, actually I think it was probably not even a week ago, about looking for mods with an application and everything. And that's my favorite thing is, like, I got some responses, I looked at them, and it's like, oh, are you in the Discord? And some of them were like, yeah, and I looked, and it's just like, motherfucker, you just joined the Discord just before you sent this in. Like, bruh. You think I'm not gonna see that? That you're saying yes by a technicality. Like, look, you could have been honest and just said no, that you weren't in the Discord. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're not allowed to mod for this because you're not in my Discord participating actively in my community. Like, please. Like, Discord's not everybody's thing. I get it. It can be a lot. But at the same time, it's like, I can tell usually if they're like, oh, I want to do this thing. You're fine, Alex. You're fine. But it's just like, please, I can see this. I can look at these things. But, so, if you want my two cents on AI, I'm not the biggest fan of Gen AI, but AI as a whole, I don't hate it. That's the short answer. Because I'm pretty sure if I was going to my whole thing about my opinions on AI, I'd probably be here for about 20 minutes. And probably get a good portion of YouTube or Twitter pissed off at me. Because, God forbid, they do not understand nuance. Not advocate for a position, you'd be a wrench. I mean, I'm a wrench myself. I am my own worst enemy. Only 20. Oh, you think it'd be longer? Oh, I was gonna say it'd probably be shorter, because I prefer to try and get to the fucking point. Which is why I'm terrible at arguments, because it's like, oh, I could just, they're just gonna circle and talk about the same thing, then you're just gonna keep moving the goalposts, and then I'm over here like, okay, you got me. I'm not gonna go try and move the next goalpost like 30 feet away. Because I'll admit when I'm mad. You are short, but not your rants. Okay, so, like, I'm be honest here. It's because I know the whole Gen AI is bad, and it's bad for the environment because the amount of drink water you can use, blah blah blah. You know what? Fair. I get it. But I can also say, as someone who suffers from aphantasia, I can't see things in my head. So if you're like, oh, so just imagine an apple. The apple doesn't exist. There is nothing there. There is no shape. There is no color. There is no image. It's just nothing. Like, it does not exist if I can't actually see it. Which honestly makes designing a lot of shit really fucking hard. Cause you can look at something, you can look in your references, and you can look at it, and it's like, this isn't it. This isn't it. This isn't it. Exactly. I can think, but there is nothing there. Yeah, it's called aphantasia, and there is a scale for it. I'm on the far end where I can't see shit if I try to think. There's nothing. It's like you take a chalkboard and there is nothing on it. It's just a blank slate. Yeah, I'm one of those people. So it was really fun when I was trying to do like raids on Final Fantasy, trying to do ultimates, and they're trying, they're talking, people are explaining, and it's like, I understand what you're saying, I get it, but I cannot physically imagine this in my head. Because at one point, I was raiding with Lilith, and we took, I think at one point, unless it was like 2 hours before I was like, look, I cannot see what you're trying to explain. So it turned into okay, we're gonna open paint.net and we're gonna do an entire diagrams, scuffed images to explain everything. And imagine that, my rating experience improved after that. Who would have thought? I didn't see it. But your apology is accepted. But overall, I'm not a fan, but I will admit the whole AI thing with Pokemon, with the whole Pal World bullshit was pretty funny. I'm not gonna deny that. Cause you know what? I will say it. Cause I have been working on a couple things on the back end. Like I've been working on a Christmas outfit. Because I feel really bad that I wasn't able to do anything for Halloween because of finances and shit. But I should be able to do the Christmas one, given I got like 2 months now to get done, or like a little over a month. But yeah, then and I am working on another like model, but it's not gonna be what you think. And if any of y'all have seen it, no you didn't. I'm not talking about the mech. like burgers. What's our opinions on burgers? I just realized I can't see my shit. Okay, I'm missing redeems. Okay. Yeah, Nanami is on the bit on the back burner. It got kind of fucked with everything that happened in October. I do want to get done though, but I'm prioritizing the holiday stuff for like Yule and shit. You like burgers to be cooked with a halved hot link with bell peppers, onions, and garlic, and two peppers, pepper jack cheese, and yes, yes. See, I'm a basic bitch. I love burgers. Like, hey, well, come on in, AJ. See, I like cheeseburgers. I like bacon burgers. I like complicated burgers. I just like burgers. Just, keep the pickles away. I don't like pickles. Onions are negotiable. Pickles, though? No. I do like me a good barbecue burger. Like, dead ass, I fucking hate pickles. I don't care. If it's a chicken burger, I don't care. If it's a fucking sub, I fucking hate pickles. Would I eat a tarantula burger? I'm gonna say no. Just off the premise. You could probably get away with it if I didn't know. If, like, you smothered that shit in, like, barbecue sauce and a bunch of other shit. But, yeah, overall, no. Pickles and gravy? Huh? Here it's a little salty. Wouldn't know. I've never heard of pickles and gravy. I've heard of biscuits and gravy, but not pickles. Definitely not pickles. I'm trying to imagine how that would even work. Actually, I'm not going to. But what we can do, though, since we're on our topics of burgers, Five Guys. Which, by the way, overall, I think Five Guys is a little overrated. For the record, it's also one of those places, though, that I also believe that you should not get delivered. You should only have it if you're ordering it while you're there. It is for the price. Yeah, I always found them a little too expensive. But, like, but I am a fry girly, though. Like, if I go to Five Guys, like, yeah, I could get a burger, but I'm the person who's gonna be like, I want the bag of fries. Just give me the fries, because I love their fries. Like, we have a one nearby, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. See, AJ, we don't have Whataburger over here. So, I wouldn't know. But I tell you what. If I am ever in an area with the Whataburger, I will try it. I promise that much. Never had their fries. Their fries have a nice kick, honestly. I might be a little biased though, but yeah, Culver's. I don't have that over here either. Jokes there, since our rat took itself out into a. Gross. Middle of nothing and nowhere. Danny, I am in Ohio. There ain't shit here. Which, honestly, I'm really annoyed. I said it earlier, but I need the government to get their shit together so I can go to the Air Force Museum, take a bunch of pictures, flood Discord, and have a great fucking time. But no, because government shutdown, they're all furloughed, so I can't go there until that shit's straightened out. And they're notoriously a pain in the ass to get a hold of in general. Ohio may as well live under a rock. I mean, we do have hell. I think it's hell that's in Ohio. I think it's so. Could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it is. But anyways, so before we get into this, I'm curious. What's everyone's favorite place to get a burger? You know, we already know this video is Five Guys, but I don't care if even like a local joint, but weirdly, in spite of the shutdown, the World War I Museum is still open. Huh. Well, unfortunately, ours is not open. So, which it might be that it maybe it's not as visited area. I'm not really sure, but like I've decided that the moment they will reopen, like I don't care what like my streaming schedule's looking like. I'm gonna go, and you know, I'll bring my little like IRL camera and shit if they'll, and I'll ask them down there if they'll let me stream, take all you guys with me and stuff. But even in the chance, you know, they say they stand by when I initially asked them, they're still like, no. I'm just gonna take a bunch of pictures and just spam it in Discord. Or we can just go through all the pictures on stream afterwards. Either one works, honestly. Favorite place to get his burgers? A place called Anchor 66. Okay. I respect it. Never heard of it. See, I'm gonna be lame because my the two places I will ever get a burger from is either Red Robin or Buffalo Wild Wings. Veteran owned place. I love places that veteran owned, especially when they're really good. I love supporting those. Because, God forbid, we all know our country does a terrible fucking job of supporting them. Anyway, let's see a little bit about Five Guys Burgers and Fries. I don't know why I said it like that. Don't judge me.
This guy just dethroned Don Voltaggio as my favorite entrepreneur. Today we're talking about Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Okay, here's the deal. I was down in South Carolina. I'd never had Five Guys before. I got hungry. I was going to order some DoorDash. Five Guys was an option. Decided to get Five Guys. Heard it was delicious. I ordered 4 cheeseburgers and 4 servings of fries. Okay, fast forward 35 minutes. What gets delivered to this Airbnb I'm staying at is 2 brown paper sacks with no branding on them. And inside of sack number A is 4 delicious cheeseburgers wrapped in aluminum foil. No branding on that either. Okay, this is kind of fucking weird. Interesting. Big chain. No branding. All right, whatever.
They do that.
Bag number 2. I'm not exaggerating.
It's fries.
The bag is full to the top with French fries. As far as I can tell, they didn't even stick any like holding containers.
No, they don't do that. They will literally take the fries and they just dump them in the bag. It's amazing. I love it.
For the French, it's just a bag of fucking French fries. It's like 5 pounds. It's like they made an entire bag of potatoes into French fries and stuck it in a sack. So, like any sane person, I tried the French fries. They're delicious. Now is where I go from not a sane person. I immediately have alarm bells going off. They're up to something. There's no branding. There's way too many French fries for free. They're up to something. I need to figure out what it is. So next day I go to Five Guys for lunch in person. While eating inside the restaurant, I'm both impressed but also more confused. They're giving out free peanuts. There's bags of potatoes everywhere. The kitchen is open. You can see them making the food, unlike any other
Five Guys
place
experience
I've ever been to in my entire life. So I go back home. I start doing some research, and what I find is not only a pretty incredible business model, but probably the coolest entrepreneur story that I've ever heard in my entire life. And we're going to get into it right after a word from our sponsor.
Who ate me?
Why do you have John Wick's gun?
The squirrels were messing with Mushu again, so this seemed appropriate.
I mean,
I've never had an In-N-Out.
Stupid squirrels. Wait, squirrels!
That's only gonna keep him down for a little bit, Morty. You f with squirrels, Morty.
All right, here's the deal. Super simple, straightforward business.
I've never
model.
had the
You put that
nuts.
money, they turn around and make sure the data brokers on the internet aren't selling your personal information. What does that even mean? Okay, here's the entire internet and every free service on the planet inside of a nutshell. Okay, there's a saying: if you're not paying for the product, you are the product.
Unfortunately,
What that
all
means is
like
pretty
the
much anything on the
family
internet that you
places
use,
here
that's a
are
service, whether that be Google, Facebook, Instagram,
absolute
Snapchat.
garbage. So I can't really like get any like really good family-owned experiences here because they're pretty shitty usually, unless it's like the like from when like the Hispanics or like food and everything. Then it's like it's great, but outside that, it doesn't really do that well. It really doesn't. And yes, I know the video is muted. I intentionally muted it. Like, I don't know. You don't really have a lot of places that do burgers well here.
With the founder of Five Guys Burgers and Fries, Jerry Morrell, who I can only describe as like the most average dude on the planet. Grew up in Michigan, average life, average parents, average school performance, right down the middle,
trucks?
average with perfectly everything. One day he's in class, teacher winds up telling him, you need to pay attention or you're going to wind up flipping burgers for the rest of your life. So he's like, okay, well, I mean, maybe. So then he starts thinking about it. He decides to go to the local burger place called Push 'em Up Tony's, and people are just packing this place all the time. The dude makes good burgers. Push 'em Up Tony is this, dude, he's got his fucking pet cat in the kitchen that he's petting while he's flipping these burgers. Everybody jokingly called them fur burgers, but they kept eating there because the burgers were delicious. So as a kid, he's looking at this and he's like, I mean, flipping burgers for a living doesn't sound that bad. I mean, Push 'em Up Tony's always busy. He drives a nice car, gets to hang out with his pet cat all day. Maybe it's not that bad of a life. So this is kind of where the seed gets planted. Okay, fast forward, graduates high school, goes off to college. While he's in college, he's working in a fraternity house, cooking all the food for everybody. From here, he graduates college, moves back home to his hometown in Michigan, marries his high school sweetheart, has 3 kids, and starts selling life insurance. The most average story on the planet.
I feel bad for anyone who has to do
Every
insurance.
category. Remarkable, truly. The most average person in our entire armed forces.
And then one day, him and his wife decide they're going to get a divorce. Don't know the context, don't know what happened, don't care, doesn't matter, not pertinent to the story. What does happen is his wife takes his 3 sons and she takes them down to Florida where they move. And Jerry, like any good father, is heartbroken. He wants his boys back, and for whatever reason, I have no idea why, he decides that what he needs to do to get his kids back is to make a bunch of more money. Maybe he couldn't afford a good lawyer in the divorce, I have no idea, but that's what he decides. He needs to make a ton of money. So he leaves his hometown, starts bouncing around from big city to big city, trying to figure out how he's going to make all this money, winds up in Texas, tries to start an oil business, blows up in his face. So that didn't work, but he's not taking no for an answer because he's got to get his boys back. Next big idea, bottled water.
Oh boy.
I'm trying to figure out if I can make any money on this deal.
Okay, now to me and you in 2025, sounds like a pretty good idea. That's a multi-billion-dollar industry today, but you gotta remember, this is the early 1970s. Bottled water doesn't even get remotely popular until the 1990s, okay? In the 1970s, ain't nobody drinking water. Everybody's smoking cigarettes and drinking Coca-Cola. I mean, we've all seen the documentaries where they're like, here's the graduating class of 1972, and then they show you a bunch of pictures of like 35-year-old men.
I get older, they stay the same age.
And it turns out they are, in fact, actually 18-year-olds. They just look like they're 30-year-old men because they have normal testosterone levels, because their balls aren't full of microplastics, and because they're not fucking drinking water and they're dehydrated. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Just drink water. Anyways.
Water sucks. Gatorade is better. What?
Jerry goes out with his literal multi-billion-dollar idea and starts looking for investors, starts talking to bankers. Absolutely everybody laughs at him at the notion that somebody would buy bottled water.
Water?
Yeah.
You mean like in the toilet?
So he abandons the idea, moves on to the next thing, moves on to the next big city, winds up in Washington, D.C. While he's there, he is, he's from small town Michigan. He's not used to all this money, all this wealth. He's blown away by how many rich people live in this area. He's got an economics background, so he goes back to school, gets licensed to be a financial advisor, and starts doing that in Washington, D.C., and starts making a good amount of money. From here, he meets his wife, Janie. He's doing so financially well that whatever the context is, he winds up getting his boys back. They move back with him in Washington, D.C., and then Janie gets pregnant and he has another boy. He now has 4 sons. From here, he goes right back to being the most average guy on the planet, living in the Washington, D.C. area, got 4 sons, got the wife, slinging financial products on the side, making a bunch of money, putting money away for his kid's college fund, just being average Joe to the max. As his 2 oldest sons are getting ready to finish up high school here,
I have heard that about pickle
one of
juice.
them has any interest in going off to college. Okay, kind of an alarming thing for a mother and father, especially in the 1980s. This is like the pinnacle era of you have to go to college.
It is fiscally irresponsible for me to go to college.
Are you huffing?
God.
Are you high?
You're huffing grass?
Then one day, Jerry and Jamie decide they're going to take the boys out to the beach. They go out to the beach. It's coming up on lunchtime. They decide they're going to look for a restaurant. There's restaurants all up and down this boardwalk, but one of these restaurants has a line of like 250 people just standing there waiting. It's this restaurant called Thrasher's, and the crazy part is they only sell French fries. Like that's it.
Keep it simple.
No hot dogs, no hamburgers, just French fries. 250 people waiting in line. And this reminds him of Push 'em Up Tony's and the Fur Burgers back home. And then it reminds him of what his teacher told him. If you don't pay attention in school, you're not going to go to college, and then you're going to wind up flipping burgers for the rest of your life. And maybe, just maybe, that's not that bad of an idea.
Light bulb.
So he gets approval from his wife first, and then he sits down his boys and he's like, okay, look, we've saved up $70,000 to send you kids off to college. If you want to go to college, we'll pay for it. Absolutely, 100%. It's basically your money. But if you guys don't want to go to college, I'll give you the money and we can start a business together. Which is beautiful. I mean, you got to remember, he already lost his boys once. He doesn't want to lose them again. If he could start a business and provide them with a living, and he gets to hang out with his sons all day, every day, even if they don't become rich, he's still rich. And sure enough, the boys want to work with Dad. Okay, so what's the business model going to be? We're going to take Push 'em Up Tony's and we're going to take Thrashers and we're going to smash them together. We're going to make hamburgers and French fries, and we're going to make them so well that people line up 250 deep to buy them from us. Why
I could not imagine being allergic to potatoes.
Well, because Jerry is the most average man on the planet, and that's all he likes.
I just have a little plain cheeseburger. Sometimes my other favorite burger is a plain hamburger, ketchup mustard on it, and another one is just a plain hamburger with nothing but raw.
We were literally talking earlier about allergies. Don't make people eat things they're allergic to.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say all 4 of those boys were conceived in missionary position. Just saying. So what are we gonna call this restaurant? Well, it's me and my 4 boys. That's 5 guys, and we're selling burgers and fries. Brain Blast, that's the name of the restaurant. 5 Guys Burgers and Fries.
The most average person.
Okay, now from here, I can't tell if Jerry is like a diabolical...
Unless they're your enemy. Oh my god, no.
Like, they will come. Obviously referring to the perfect hamburger accommodated by the perfect french fry. Actually, no, I am pretty positive. He definitely had the second
go
one
ahead.
because he becomes bound and determined to make the perfect hamburger and the perfect french fry, and he is thoroughly convinced that if he can do that, literally nothing else matters. You think I'm exaggerating? I'm not. He literally defies all conventional wisdom, ignores all the common business practices, and is just locked in tunnel vision on developing a good hamburger and good french fries.
This is the good stuff. Snakes and sparklers.
He starts telling all his family and friends he's putting his life savings into selling burgers and french fries, and they're like, oh, you're starting up a restaurant. Are you gonna have a salad option? Absolutely not. How about chicken nuggets? No. How about a burrito? No. How about a chicken sandwich? No. Burgers and french fries.
You don't have no black cats? No Roman candles or screaming mimes? No. You don't got no lady fingers, buzz buttles, snicker bombs, church burners, finger blasters?
If they're enemy, just throw the raw potato at them.
No, I don't.
He is so thoroughly...
So just like... Are you saying they should just like, just make it like a potato cannon? And just fire potatoes at the enemy? I don't hate the idea, but I do... But I would miss the potatoes because I am obsessed with potatoes.
Convinced that the only recipe to success is a good hamburger and good french fries, that he intentionally makes opening up his first business as hard as humanly possible. He literally and intentionally picks the shittiest location he could possibly find in this rundown strip mall in Arlington, Virginia. And his thought process was, if I can do this successfully in this shitty location, I can do it literally anywhere. So he gets this location up, gets it ready. From here, he has to perfect the menu. From here, I can only assume he's like, what's our competition? McDonald's? Okay, what's McDonald's have? The Big Mac? What's that got? 2 1.5-ounce patties? All right, cool. Here's our thing.
It's
We're gonna have
sad.
hamburgers. We're gonna have cheeseburgers. They're gonna come in 2 sizes. The smaller one for kids is gonna have 1 3.5-ounce patty. More than a Big Mac. We're gonna call that one the little guy because fuck McDonald's. Our normal hamburgers and cheeseburgers are gonna have 2 3.5-ounce patties. And that meat is gonna be fresh, never frozen. And the bun that those hamburgers go in is gonna be fresh from a bakery, baked that morning. And I'm gonna have 17 different toppings that you can put on those hamburgers and cheeseburgers. And guess how much
barrel
extra each
cuts into
topping's
fries.
gonna cost?
Yes.
Fucking nothing. And all that shit, the lettuce, the tomatoes, the onions, all that's gonna be fresh too. Okay, cool. What about the french fries? We're gonna buy fucking potatoes and we're gonna turn them into french fries. Okay, we're not gonna do what McDonald's does and have some factory spitting out frozen french fries into a bag and then transport them frozen across the country and then throw them into the fryer. No, we're gonna take potatoes, we're gonna salt them, we're gonna put them in oil, and then we're gonna feed them to the world. Okay, I mean, look at McDonald's french fries ingredients. We've got potatoes, vegetable oil, canola oil, corn oil, soybean oil, hydrogenated soybean oil, natural beef flavor, wheat and milk derivatives, dextrose, sodium, acid,
It's a lot of sad.
pyrophosphate, main color, salt, quote, beef flavor, contains hydrolyzed wheat and hydrolyzed milk as starting ingredients. Contains wheat and milk. Now let's look at the Five Guys french fries ingredients. Potatoes, salt, peanut oil. The end. Does peanut oil cost more? Absolutely. But it doesn't matter because that's what makes the fries better, and we're not in the business of saving money. We're in the business...
I'm not sure if it was McDonald's, but I know there was a place that used to fry their oil or fry their shit in tallow, and I can't remember who it is, and now it's gonna bug the shit out of me.
...of making the best burger and fries on the planet.
Snakes and sparklers are the only ones I like.
Buh! That also means he's gonna lose out on customers that have a peanut allergy. Buh! Don't care. Five Guys is in the business of making the best french fries possible, not bending the knee to your weird food allergy. In fact, they're gonna double down and give out free peanuts to everybody waiting in line to send the clear message. If you can't eat the best french fries in the world, fuck you. Just to be clear, for legal reasons, at no point has Five Guys officially said or alluded to anything remotely close to that. However, that's what they actually do, and that's how I interpret it, and I think it's kind of funny. Yeah, I know. I'm a bad person. Anyways, moving on. Oh, and these can't just be any potatoes. No. These need to be russet potatoes from Idaho. But even that's not specific enough. These need to be russet potatoes.
Oh, so it was
from
McDonald's.
Idaho,
Okay.
Specifically in the Snake River Basin, which is north of the 42nd parallel. Because, and I quote, potatoes are a lot like oak trees. The slower they grow, the more solid they are. We like our northern potatoes because they grow in the daytime when it's warm, but then stop at night when it cools down. It would be a lot easier and a lot cheaper if we got California or Florida potatoes. The dude is autistic about burgers and french fries, and I love it. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, homie has went
Hey, we all have our
the Krabby
obsessions.
Patty secret recipe. He has developed the greatest hamburger and french fry of all time. That's it. That's the whole menu. I've got a hamburger, I've got a cheeseburger, I've got 17 different toppings. I'll put whatever you want on it, and I've got french fries. The end. Okay, sounds stupid. Actually genius. What have we learned on this channel? Keep it simple, stupid. Pick one thing you want to do, be the absolute best at it. Best pound for pound money-making fast food place on the planet? Chick-fil-A. Guess what they sell?
Chicken
Sandwiches. The end. So the menu's set. The food is ready. 1986, he opens up Five Guys. Does he do a grand opening? No. Does he advertise at all? Absolutely not. He is convinced that if he can just get one customer to walk through that door and taste this delicious hamburger, he's going to tell all of his buddies, and then he's going to be successful.
Honestly, word of mouth is such an amazing fucking marketing thing. Cause I remember, I think a few years ago, back when Minecraft wasn't like really big on like doing like advertising and shit, it got spread out so much by word of mouth. It was actually fucking insane.
So they open up at 11 in the morning. Guess who shows up? Absolutely nobody. Nobody knows they exist. They didn't advertise. They didn't have a grand opening. Nobody shows up. First 45 minutes, nobody shows up. Then one dude just saunters in, happening to find it randomly, eats the hamburger. By 12:30, they're fucking packed. Okay, he's done it. He's built the perfect cheeseburger. He's built the perfect french fry. And sure enough, people showed up despite him not
word of mouth is
advertising,
such an
despite
amazing
him being in a
force.
horrible location. His plan is working. Five Guys Burgers and Fries is profitable from day one. Somewhere along the line, people start complaining that his restaurant takes a little bit longer in comparison to, like McDonald's and other places.
Oh,
Jerry
get over it.
doesn't give a single shit, okay? Perfection takes time.
Cooking is art, and the shit I cook is the bomb, so don't be telling me.
Shit you cook is shit.
In response to this, Jerry hangs up a sign on the door that says, and I quote, "If you're in a hurry, there's a lot of really good burger places within a short walking distance from here." Five Guys doesn't
I
give a
love
shit,
that.
and I absolutely love it. Just straight up, we're the best. We know we're the best. If you don't want to wait in line, cool, kick rocks, go somewhere else. There's 249 other people in queue that I can make their burger for next. They continue to grow the business. They're making hamburgers. They're making french fries. Things are going good. Time to open up another location. So he goes to the bank, asks for a loan.
Exactly.
Honestly, I have no idea how this conversation went down, but I imagine it was something along the lines of this. Okay, you want to open up another hamburger shop. Your first one's fairly successful. Tell me about the business. Do you have a marketing plan in place? Absolutely not. We don't do any marketing whatsoever. We just rely on word of mouth by making really good hamburgers and really good french fries. Okay, are you looking at like expanding the menu? Absolutely fucking not. Okay, do you deliver? Are you looking to start delivering the food? No.
Don't
I make good
fix
hamburgers
what's
and good
not
french fries
broke.
so good that they're gonna come to me. Okay, so your entire business model is just to make really good hamburgers and really good french fries, so much so that they'll come to you, you won't deliver, but they don't know you exist because you're not doing any marketing and you're only willing to sell hamburgers and french fries.
Yes.
Yep. Just get out. No, the answer is no. We're not investing in your hamburger stand. Jerry
1980s. So, like, here's the thing. Is, I don't know about you, but, like, I get super suspicious if I ever order anywhere. Especially, like, any place I haven't been or I don't know about. I get super anxious if, the food or whatever is really, really fast and it's not, like, marketed as, like, a fast food location. It genuinely scares me. Because it's like, if this place isn't marketed as, like, being, like, fast food or whatever, I go there to go sit down, chit-chat. I'm expecting, it might take a little bit. Not being like, here it is.
Basically gets laughed out of the bank, at which point he goes to his family and friends. He's getting like $5,000 loans from relatives, $10,000 loans from people that believe in the company, and he gets enough money to open up a second location. And that's pretty much how it goes.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
2001. By then, he's got 5 locations. Now, 5 locations in 2 decades for a fast food place is not a lot of growth. Like, that's not very fast. And part of that reason is not because he can't get funding. It's because people have been approaching him for like the last 10 years wanting to start a franchise of their own version of Five Guys, and Jerry's just like, no, absolutely not. You're gonna fuck up my precious burgers and french fries. You're not gonna do it right. Nobody's touching this except for me. By 2022, he finally gives it up, and he's willing to have franchisees come on and run their own version of Five Guys, but he is on their ass like white on rice. To this day, Five Guys is sending in 2 secret shoppers every single week. Not quarterly, not
a week? A week? I always wondered why their quality was generally consistent, but holy shit. If they got a secret shoppers coming in every week. No fucking wonder. Because if you never know if they're going to be coming through, like, it's a good reason to try and keep everybody on their fucking game. And following, like, rules and what they want done and all that, like, holy shit. Because I know, like, for a lot, like, where I worked, even though, like, I didn't really do a lot of, like, food stuff. Aside from, like, the snack bar where I used to work. But even then, we'd only get, like, a secret shopper, like, every few months. So, I kind of respect that they're just, like, sending in people a week. I respect the hell out of that. Best places take 30 minutes to an hour to get your meal. Yeah, and I think if you're not expecting fast food, I think like 20, 25, 30 minutes, I think is reasonable. Depending on, what you're getting, how many people you're with, yeah, But, yeah, your rice is red. I'm partial to brown rice. Oh shit! I hit the fucking button. Where'd I lose?
Do you deliver? Are you looking to start delivering the food? No.
I hate when I click off the wrong thing.
And good french fries so good that they're gonna...
But also, this is a Cayman alone thing. I understand why they would be hesitant to just give a guy the, a loan with just that information. But also, marketing is fucking complicated. Like, because it's like, oh, well, yeah, but... Because back then it probably isn't as complicated as it is these days, where you got so many people that are so fucking sensitive about everything. And then there's like, oh, well, this works better on Instagram, this kind of stuff works better on Twitter, these kind of things do better on TikTok. It's nowhere near as complicated back then. But even then, depending on what their profit margins are, they may or may not have really had that much leeway to afford people to do the marketing, the food videography for like advertisements on television and so forth. Two secret shoppers a week, one for the kitchen, one for the store. So you thing is, you knew that they were coming in, so you generally kind of knew to try and stay on top of your shit.
Come to me. Okay, so your entire business model is just to make really good hamburgers and really good french fries, so much so that they'll come to you, you won't deliver, but they don't know you exist because you're not doing any marketing and you're only willing to sell hamburgers and french fries.
Exactly. But that's why they're called secret shoppers, because you don't know when they're going to show up.
Get out. No, the answer is no. We're not investing in your hamburger stand. Jerry basically gets laughed out of the bank, at which point he goes to his family and friends. He's getting like $5,000 loans from relatives, $10,000 loans from people that believe in the company, and he gets enough money to open up a second location. And that's pretty much how it goes between the 1980s all the way up until 2001. By then, he's got 5 locations. Now, 5 locations in 2 decades for a fast food place is not a lot of growth. Like, that's not very fast. And part of that reason is not because he can't get funding, it's because people have been approaching him for like the last 10 years wanting to start a franchise of their own version of Five Guys, and Jerry's just like, no, absolutely not. You're gonna fuck up my precious burgers and french fries. You're not gonna do it right. Nobody's touching this except for me. By 2022, he finally gives it up and he's willing to have franchisees come on and run their own version of Five Guys, but he is on their ass like white on rice. To this day, Five Guys is sending in secret shoppers every single week. Not quarterly, not yearly, every week. Corporate is sending in 2 secret spies to make sure that you're upholding their image. The food needs to be delicious and everything better be clean, right? That's the whole part of the fresh thing. They have an exposed kitchen where you can sit there and watch somebody make your food fresh. Everything needs to be spotless, and corporate is hell-bent on making sure that happens. Jerry and his sons aren't budging for anybody on their standards, and I absolutely love it. And I mean absolutely anybody, because in the 2000s, they got so popular in the DC area that the Pentagon called and wanted them to deliver some food. Jerry said, nah, we don't deliver, to which the person from the Pentagon said, sir, this is the Pentagon, everybody delivers.
No, I don't care who the fuck you are. You can get it your fucking self.
To the Pentagon, to which Jerry said,
I don't give a fuck.
He then gets another phone call from that guy's boss. It is an admiral from the Navy. Admiral, same thing as general, but for the Navy. Okay, super important guy. He then proceeds to tell Jerry, bro, this is the Pentagon. You have to deliver to the Pentagon. Jerry says, no, I don't. He then proceeds to get a 24-foot-long sign that's 2 feet tall that says, we don't deliver, and hangs it up in all the stores in Washington, D.C. It's so stupid that it's...
I need a minute. I respect the fuck out of that. Like, how much more obvious can we make it that we don't deliver? I mean, what's next? Do they have to get a fucking billboard? Like, holy shit.
Actually genius. It's literally the exclusivity luxury tactic. It's just never been pulled off with something so simple as hamburgers. It's like what ridiculous luxury brands do, like Rolex or Ferrari. Just this attitude of like, I don't give a shit what the customer wants. I'm making perfection, and if you want it, get in line. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Five Guys is like some snooty luxury hamburger. I'm just saying they're worried about quality and they're not willing to budge or compromise for absolutely anyone. And when I say anyone, I mean literally anyone, because in 2009, Barack Obama, the most powerful man on the planet, wanted a Five Guys hamburger. Guess what he had to do? He had to get his ass up out of the Oval Office and walk to a Five Guys and order a hamburger in line, just like everybody else. You don't gotta like it, but you absolutely can't not respect it. Telling the most powerful man in the world if he wants to eat one of your hamburgers, he needs to come get it, is gangster as fuck, which is not something I ever thought I would say about a fast food place, but here we are. Buh! You said at the beginning of the video that you had it DoorDash to your location, so they do deliver. Buh! No, there's a distinct difference. Five Guys doesn't deliver for anybody. But if you want to hire a stranger to go pick it up for you, that's your business. But nobody working for Five Guys is taking you your burger because they're busy making perfection. And that's why Five Guys today is so successful. They've got over 2,000 locations with 1,000 more on the way, and they're so busy they're not even accepting applications for future franchisees. Right out of the gate, they did pretty much everything wrong. They intentionally picked a shitty location when they were starting out. They don't deliver. They have a small menu. They're expensive in relation to their competition. And you know what? None of it matters, because Jerry and his sons have mastered the field of dreams fuck you business strategy. If you make the perfect product, the customer's gonna come. Nothing else matters, and if anybody tries to distract you or veer you off course, tell them to get bent.
United States of America is based on fuck you. You're a king, you have an army, greatest navy in the history of the world. Fuck you, blow me.
That's it. That's all I got. Five Guys is literally the most gangster burger place on the planet. Literally founded by a guy who sat down and was like, I want to hang out with my sons all day, and built a multi-billion-dollar hamburger and french fry empire to do it. And if that's not the American dream, I have no idea what is. Thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out. I need to build a company so I can work with my kids forever.
That was really good. I really liked that. I already liked Five Guys, but that may have just like bumped up their position on my places I like to get burgers from. Although I do prefer to get them in location rather than delivered. Just better that way. Alright, let me condense here the videos I've opened and what we've already watched. Let's just get these straightened out. Okay, got that closed, okay. No, that does not exist over here. I don't really got much around here, honestly. I'm like, we get like food trucks. We have like a mac and cheese fest, but and like an apple butter thing. But outside that though, we don't really have much here. Which, I mean, I don't think there's anything but wrong with that, but we're just a little limited. Just a little bit. Thoughts on Coney's? Like Sonic's hot dogs. I'm not really a fan of those in general. They're really something I really only have if like I'm in the mood for it. But like, I'll try anything at least once, as long as it's not shellfish. Importantly, it cannot be shellfish. Time for drone deliveries. I mean, we do have a strawberry festival here too, but it's I always miss it. A local burger joint makes homemade strawberry ice cream. I mean, there's this when I see that whole thing about homemade jelly just reminds me, there's this former like Amish lady that I follow on TikTok, and I can't remember her name right now, but she had a recipe for like, was like, I want to say it was like grape jelly or grape jam, something like that. And I made it, and it was really, really good. What is considered shellfish? That is a very good question. I'm not actually sure what a crawfish is considered. Because I generally, like pretty much avoid most seafood, if I'm being honest. Just to be safe. But it is generally prawns, lobster, crab, mussel, and oysters, usually. Those are generally what's considered shellfish. Which makes me kind of sad, because I've always wanted to try lobster. Yeah, the allergy does not discriminate. It does not care if it is salt or fresh water. It doesn't care. Well, if a crawfish is a lobster, I can't have it. So yes, I could not have crawfish. Yeah, it's like, I have to be careful because it's like, sometimes they will fry everything all together, or they don't have a designated fryer for anything that is not like shelf seafood or whatever. Because there was sushi, it depends. Sushi is not strictly off limits. It depends on the sushi. Because, like, I can have stuff like salmon, I can have tuna, but like, it depends on sushi. Which I've never had sushi. I should try it sometime. I should try sushi. For what? Are you talking like tuna or salmon? Well, if I'm gonna try sushi, I'm probably going to try something that like doesn't have like, I'm gonna stick with like a fish I know I can have safely. Or I'm gonna grab one, have sushi that doesn't have fish. So, I've never really had tuna cooked. Salmon, I'm kind of, I can go either way when it comes to salmon. But yeah, if I'm gonna go try sushi, I definitely will not be alone. And I'll definitely have my EpiPen on standby. But I'm probably gonna stick with the stuff that I know I can have safely. Because I know sushi isn't strictly, yeah, no, I have some wiggle room there that I could try with. And I mean, I could theoretically, buy some of the stuff to, like, make sushi at home, but I feel like I kind of want to try it first before spending money to buy all the things to make sushi at home. Stabby meds! EpiPens are really, though. They really are stabby meds. But I remember, like, one of the places I really liked ordering food from, I was really sad because they started carrying fish. And then I got really sad because I was like, well, shit, okay. Let me go call these guys real quick to see if everything's being fried together or whatever. And so I called the place. And I'm like, hey, I know you guys started recently cooking this stuff. By chance, do you guys have a separate fryer for things that are not fish? Or do you guys just fry it all together? And they're like, yeah, we fry it together, and I'm like, oh. And then I was denied. You know, I'm waiting for them for their limited time thing to end so I can go back to ordering there because I don't want salad. No hate if you do like salad though, no hate. I need meat! Ami cooking stream? Soon. I don't know what though, but they finally finished fixing shit downstairs, so I need to figure out like arrangements and stuff, try and make my laptop work as a streaming device, and then we can have some cooking streams. I don't know what I'll make though. My kitchen's kind of small, so the entire like setup's gonna be fucking convoluted. I like salad as a side. Like, no hate, I have to be in the mood for it. You find a document? Nice. I like documentaries, they're pretty neat. There's a lot I still want to watch, but it's like it's not enough time. I think it was like earlier last week I made some homemade chicken soup or chicken noodle soup. I don't know why I lost the word noodle. Which is really nice. I'm gonna make more coffee here soon. What the hell? Okay. What do we got left? Got fat files. And Kentucky ballistics. Alright, y'all. What you thinking? No, I love making soup. It's one of my favorite things to make because it's like low fucking effort. Big stretch. Kentucky them fat files. Alrighty. How to make plain ramen better? That depends. Are you like just taking like instant ramen? Or are you like already adding stuff to it? But like, I know for me, if I depending on what kind of ramen I'm making, I'll try and add like, if it's like instant ramen, I'm gonna add like some protein to it. I'm gonna add some like additional seasoning. I'll add some like soy sauce. So, yeah. So, next video is a Kentucky Ballistics video. How bulletproof is lead? Hold on. Okay, it is a dinosaur costume. Okay. I was so confused. Well.
I can't feel my leg. Scooter? Oh, why? Why would you do that, Scott?
The betrayal!
No, the T-Rex. I saw the T-Rex get in that tent. Oh, do I look like a marsupial? I am so sorry. I could have swore the T-Rex got in there. You are crazy, man. Well, do you want me to call you an ambulance? You're an ambulance. I'll see you later. I hate you so much.
This is an interesting start.
What's up, everybody? My name is Scott, and you're watching Kentucky Ballistics. And today, we're going to see how much lead it takes to stop a bullet. Today, I have a rather large and dense cube of lead. This thing weighs nearly 65 pounds, is 6 inches wide, tall, and a little over 4 inches thick. This cube of lead comes from the Missouri Bullet Company. This is their magic alloy. It's basically hardball lead. And a big thank you and shout out to Ethan for crafting this for today's video. Looks are deceiving with this cube. It is actually extremely heavy, and I'm going to show you just how heavy it is.
Oh God. Jesus!
That is
I knew it would be heavy, but holy fuck.
Get set up to shoot this thing. Okay. I get it set up. Dang it!
Oh Jesus. How many tables are we breaking?
Okay. I'm going to be real gentle this time. All right. Now we're going to start shooting this thing. We're going to start out with a small bullet and then work our way up to a large bullet and see what it takes to make it through 4 inches of solid lead.
Okay.
Using really fast lead.
Not gonna lie, I thought that was like 2 inches, not 4.
Hello? Ow! Spam again! Do you ever wonder where scammers get your phone number or why your inbox is flooded with spam? Well, there's companies out there called data brokers, and they sell your information without your consent to marketers and scammers, and they make billions.
My volume or the video volume?
Like today's sponsor, Aura, and they clobber spam. No, I don't need to renew my car's warranty.
Video? Yeah, I can do that.
Digital security, and you may already have a digital security tool, but not having Aura is like having a bidet but using toilet paper anyways. It's like putting a screen door in your submarine. It's like wearing your raincoat in a thunderstorm with no pants. It's like locking your front door but leaving your back door wide open. With Aura, you're gonna get...
Fun fact, I didn't even know what Aura was until my apartment complex. Because for some reason they decided that, hey, you should, they were like, they basically gave us, like, all of us a freaking lease. They included our fucking lease for some reason. And I'm like, okay, I don't know why I need this, but I'm not saying no. According to the website, the block of lead alloy he has is 66 pounds. Jesus! No wonder I was breaking tables.
Alerts if your personal info is found on the dark web. Real-time fraud alerts for credit and banking. 24/7 monitoring to help keep your identity secure. A secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and more.
It looks just like he's just squinting at the a prompter.
If something goes wrong. You think they know that I'm like reading it off the phone or no? Okay, cool. So how does it make you feel? These companies are ripping you off and making money off of your data. I know how it makes me feel. It makes me feel like Scooter at a spelling bee. But you can do something about it right now. Swing over to Aura.com/Kentucky and you will get 14 days free. And during that 14 days, you will find out where your information has been exposed and sold. Again, a big thank you to Aura for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to it. All right, we are going to start out with 22 long rifle. I highly doubt this tiny little 40 grains of lead is going to penetrate 65 pounds, but we're going to take a whack.
I can believe it's like
this
250.
Is a Smith & Wesson 22 victory. Let's take a shot, see what happens. Here we go.
3 times heavier than biblically accurate 2-foot-tall Ami. I mean, probably.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I saw the bullet come back. Oh yeah, that's it right there.
Damn.
It just bounced right off of that. Here's where we hit, and it actually put a pretty big dent in that lead. So I'm thinking there is a good chance we're going to be able to blow through this whole block today, but it's definitely going to take more than 22. Up next is going to be 9mm. This is my Century Arms AP5, and I have a 20-round mag loaded up with 1 round of 115 grain 9mm full metal jacket. Here we go.
Boing.
Okay, well, some lead came back at me. May need to scoot back. 9mm actually put quite the crater in this thing. That is a lot bigger than the 22, and it went pretty deep. So I've got high hopes that we're going to be able to make it through this entire block today. Up next is going to be the Lord's Caliber 45 ACP, and I have my super duper long slide.
It's a long barrel again.
1911, and I'm loaded up with 1 round of 45 ACP full metal jacket. I have scooted pretty far back because we're getting lead splash, so let's see if I can hit this thing.
Quite the impact.
I hit it, and I see the bullet rolling around. Yeah, okay. I am glad that we scooted back. Right here, and I'm sure it is stinking hot. It is, yeah, it's hot. Right there is the 45 ACP.
Yeah, that would have been badly if he didn't move back.
Came right back at us. Let's go have a look at the block. So you can really tell what caliber's which. 22, 9mm, 45 ACP put a pretty big dent in it, but did not penetrate much deeper than the 9. So from the data we have gathered thus far, I'm gonna say I highly doubt a handgun is gonna make it through that block, but we're gonna hit it with a few more before moving on to some bigger stuff. Up next is gonna be a 44 Magnum. This is a Smith & Wesson 629, and I'll be loaded up with some Underwood ammo, 245 grain, 44 mag, full metal jacket. And by the way, we're shooting at about 40 yards back now with a handgun. So if I miss, don't laugh at me.
Well.
Again, this is why we have scooted back. Here is the bullet, and it is smushed, and it's actually not that hot. So here's our hit with the 44 Magnum. We removed quite a bit of lead from this block, but still doesn't look like we've penetrated much deeper.
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Go ahead and step it up to the Mac Daddy of handguns, the largest production handgun in the world, the 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum. This one has an 8 3/8 inch barrel, and I'm going to be loaded up with a bullet that's not lead. These are Underwood ammo, 375 grain XPBs. I believe these are copper, so I'm very curious to see what it does to that lead block.
Oh shit!
I think I hit a little high, and I believe we removed some material. Okie dokie. Well, it looks like we did penetrate a little bit deeper, and because I hit it on the edge, we removed a chunk of that block, and I believe it is right here on the ground.
Decent little chunk.
Well, that's going to be it for the handguns. Let's move on to something a little bit bigger. And actually, I managed to find the bullet. It pretty much landed in the same spot all of the bullets have been landing, about 10 yards away from the block. And this thing's actually pretty hot, and it deformed quite a bit. So before we move on to rifles, I want to hit this thing with a 12-gauge slug. This is a Remington 887 pump-action 12-gauge shotgun, and I'll be using a 1-ounce 12-gauge slug.
I love
shotties. I don't think we're going to penetrate much, but should be pretty cool.
Nice little impact. Nice little crater there.
Let's go have a look. Before we inspect the block, let's inspect this slug. Here it is on the ground. It is completely flattened out. It's crazy. And I'm pretty sure that is where we hit on the block. That slug fits in there quite nicely. So we have created quite a few craters in the front of this block. So now that we're moving on to rifles, I'm going to flip it so we have a fresh side. The first rifle we're going to use is an AR-15. This is a Q Sugar Weasel, and I'm going to be loaded up with a 20-round mag with 2 rounds of 5.56 full metal jacket. Here we go. Ooh.
All right.
Okay, so we went pretty deep in there. I have a little bit of jacket from that, and as you can see, there's a pretty good crater in there.
Oh yeah, nice little hole in
and
there.
And it penetrated, I don't know, I would say about an inch. Next, we're gonna step it up to 308. This is a Thompson Center bolt action rifle, and I'm gonna be using some Hornady Precision Hunter 178 grain 308. Okay, here we go. Wow, okay. I may want to scoot back a little further for these rifles.
Well.
All right. Well, we put a pretty big crater in that thing with the 308. I mean, that's a pretty deep hole. And here's a tiny little piece of that bullet left. It broke into a bunch of pieces. We're kind of running out of space on our block, so we're going to go ahead and step it up to 300 Win Mag. This is a Christensen Arms Evoke, and I'll be loaded up with some Hornady Precision Hunter 200 grain rounds. Here we go. Okay. Well,
little further.
How far back you need to go? Oh, damn.
So, shooting lead is turning out to be rather eventful. We put a pretty big crater in that. But it doesn't look like it penetrated much more than the 308. We just carved out a lot more lead. And we had a lot more lead spew from the block at further distances. Okay, well now I think that we have kind of more of a fresh side on the pistol side. So I'm gonna flip this around and we're gonna hit it with our next rifle. So up next, we're gonna step it up to 408 Chi-Tac. This is a Chi-Tac M200 intervention, and we will be using a 419 grain.
Not sure if long or just don't know a lot about
From
guns.
what happened with the 300 Win Mag, I have scooted even further back. I'm about 100 yards back. I'm going to shoot off the hood of this car. I have on a helmet, a face shield, and a neck shield because this is a solid copper round. If this doesn't break up, I'm not really sure where it's going to go, and I definitely don't want it to hit me.
Oh, damn.
So, we moved the entire block, which I want to say is pretty darn impressive.
It is a long barrel? Okay. I wasn't sure.
Let's take a look at our shot. Oh, there is our new hole.
Woo!
This whole block right here is pretty warm. We came close.
You got some, like,
through,
spider
I
cracks.
guess. I don't know. I'd say we made it about halfway through. And there's something in there. Oh, that's not going to come out. It's like stuck in there. Oh, it's right there. So two things. First of all, I don't think I'm going to be able to get that bullet out of there with my knife. And second of all, I believe I was mistaken. Those are not solid copper rounds. I think they're full metal jackets, because if you look in here, that to me looks like a lead core. The 408 was not able to penetrate all the way through the lead block. So that just leaves us one choice. Our final rifle today is going to be a 50 BMG. This is a Serbu BFG 50A, and I'm going to be loaded up with one round of 50 BMG, 660 grain, full metal jacket. Ah! Here we go.
Well.
Oh.
It's like one off the table.
Let's go check that out.
It did. It only blew more off the block.
Okie dokie. Let's see if I can get to this thing. Looks like we blew it off the table. Oh. Let's have a look. Looks like we almost made it completely through. We hit right here. And we have quite the swipe through this block. And then it looks like it exited out the side. So it makes me wonder if that would have been completely square in the middle, would it have made it all the way through? I'm going to say no, because if you look right here, even with it deviating out the side, we still have some lead left. So it just kind of slipped out the bottom. This lead block has proven to be quite the worthy foe. Now, my question for you is up next. Should we do this video again? And this time, we hit it with the 20 millimeter. Let me know in the comment section down below.
You should. You can't let it win.
A little bit tougher than I thought it would be.
Come on, be better, smarter than the table.
I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure and give it a like and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, if you want to get your start in firearms technology, be sure to check out SDI. There is a link in the description down below. Also, be sure and check me out on all other social media platforms. Links to those can be found in the description down below, along with a link to KentuckyBallistics.com, just in case you want to pick up a shirt.
Holy tables.
pumpkin.
Not the pumpkin.
My name is Scott. Thank you so much for watching Kentucky Ballistics. I'll see you next time.
Why'd the pumpkin get what pumpkin get strays though? Like the pumpkin was innocent. Aside from being the physical representation of spam. Flamethrower this time? We got a flamethrower? Why is this so shootable then? It is a pumpkin! It did nothing wrong. Nothing! Okay. That video done. Alright, I got, what do I got? I got 2 videos left, then potentially assuming the plans still hold, gonna be chatting with a bunch of people around 8, so well, if you still want to share the retort, you can, you can always send it to me in DMs. Do you know how hard it is to make me swing a fucking banhammer? Put curly fries on your burger? Hell yeah! Curly fries are fucking amazing, especially Arby's. Okay, so it looks like I might only have time for 1. So do we do another Kentucky Ballistics video? Or do we do another Fat Files? You know what? I think we'll do Fat Files, cause I've been meaning to watch their Bass Pro Shop vid. And I'm gonna have to take a little mini food break for a potentially large chatting session. It's the easy way I could put it. Assuming they have room for me. In which case they don't, then well, more videos. Cause holy shit, I missed having everybody. Anyway.
Normal. Absolutely nothing. Every time I start a video, I was like, this is a cool company. I'm sure completely normal things are happening there. Never happens, okay? Started working on a Cabela's video, found out that they're actually owned by Bass Pro Shop. Okay, I'm gonna do a Bass Pro Shop video.
I did not know Cabela's was owned by Bass Pro Shop.
And now there's Indian spiritual leaders and crystal skulls and pyramids and curses involved, and I don't even know what's going on.
We went down that rabbit hole.
That has ever happened, that time that we took the world's 7th largest pyramid and turned it into a Bass Pro Shops. Okay, and just so we're all on the same page, it is not the simple fact that America turned the world's 7th largest pyramid into a bait and tackle shop that's the most American thing ever. No, the most American thing is the story of how it happened, because it reads like a redneck Indiana Jones script.
I'm sorry,
it's
what?
Absolutely insane, but we're gonna get to it right after a word from our sponsor.
Delete me.
Why are you dressed like that? Why do you have a Tech 9?
I'm going to the farmer's market.
Okay, that explains the outfit. Explain the Tech 9.
Muriel's getting on my turf again.
You look like you're gonna go do a drive-by in a carriage. All right, here's the deal. Super simple, straightforward business model. You give them money, they turn around and make sure that data brokers on the internet aren't selling your personal information. What does that even mean? Okay, here's the entire internet and every free service on the planet inside of a nutshell, okay? There's a saying, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. What that means is pretty much anything on the internet that you use, that's a service, whether that be Google, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat,
Oh my God,
okay?
you
It's
know.
all an app. So one of two things is happening. They're either gonna feed you ads, and that's how that company makes money since their service is
That's
free,
fucked
or
up.
they're gonna collect your personal
But
information
yeah.
and then turn around and sell it to data brokers on the internet, and then they're gonna turn around and sell it to whoever buys it, and next thing you know, you're getting 17,000 robocalls every single day. And that's where Delete Me comes in. They will look through all the major data brokers and find the ones that are selling your personal information and submit opt-out requests on your behalf, and then they are legally obligated to comply. And then they'll continue to monitor these data brokers, and if they get your information again, Delete Me will submit an opt-out request again. Basically, you're paying Delete Me to get rid of all the downside.
It's glitching. Okay.
Of all of the free stuff on the internet, which I think is absolutely worth it. If you want to check them out, I'll have a link and a discount code down below. Let's get back to the video. All right, buckle up. Things are about to get weird. Alex Jones may or may not be involved. Regardless, our story begins in 1948.
I
when
appreciate
Johnny
you
Morris,
not
the founder
typing
of
that
Bass
one.
Pro Shops, is born. He grows up as the son of a World War II veteran that after coming back home from the war opens up a liquor store. That goes well, so he opens up another liquor store. Soon, he's got an entire chain of regional liquor stores called Brown Derby. Why on earth did they call it that? I have no idea. So then why did I bring it up? Because it kind of sounds like a gay bar, and I think that's funny. Moving on. So Johnny spends his childhood growing up in Springfield, Missouri. His dad owns a chain of liquor stores in the Midwest. There's absolutely no way that guy's not making a ton of money. There's literally nothing to do in the Midwest other than drink and figure-8 race, which, if we're being honest, is just racing with an intersection while you're half drunk anyways.
Hell yeah.
So Johnny presumably has a pretty good childhood because his dad is taking him on all these hunting trips. He's going bass fishing out at Lake of the Ozarks, and he ends up becoming this huge outdoors guy. He goes off to college where he
It may have been doing that because I checked Discord.
Do that?
Comes back home from college, doesn't really know what he wants to do, but he does know it's a humongous pain in the ass to find good fishing equipment because remember, this is like the 1970s. There is no Amazon. You can't get on the internet and buy all the fishing stuff, okay? Bass Pro Shops doesn't exist yet. You got to know a guy that knows a guy that's making lures in his basement if you want to get good fishing tackle. So Johnny, fresh home from college where he just learned the laws of supply and demand, there's a huge demand for fishing stuff and there's a very low supply of it, figures he's going to fill that gap and he's probably going to make some money doing it. So he takes out a $10,000 loan, rents a U-Haul, travels the entire United States making connections with local bait and tackle shops and buying up all of their inventory, and then brings it back to Springfield, Missouri, and starts Bass Pro Shops in the back of one of his dad's liquor stores. Now remember what I said, there is no Amazon. You can't get online and order all your fancy bass fishing equipment. You got to know a guy that knows a guy, and pretty soon Johnny Morris becomes that guy. His phone number is getting passed around the fishing community like wildfire. The next thing he knows, he's getting phone calls from other states all over the country, placing orders, and then he's mailing stuff to people. This goes on for about 2 years, and then after that, he realizes he has an enormous catalog of names, addresses, and phone numbers of all the big fishermen all over the United States of America. So he takes a risk. He prints out 10,000 Bass Pro Shops catalogs in 1974 and mails them to absolutely everybody with all of his products inside. This explodes into a humongous mail order business, which is basically the Amazon of its time. And as he continues to grow the business, he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to start selling fishing boats out of my catalog too. But I'm not just going to sell the boat. I'm going to sell the boat with the motor and the trailer all for one price. One-stop shop. You get everything. Up until this point, if you wanted to buy a fishing boat, you had to go buy the boat, then you had to go buy the motor, then you had to figure out how to get a fucking trailer. It was a whole day-long event. Now you could just call up Johnny and have the boat delivered to you. It was perfect. His boats end up becoming the most popular boat in America and the most manufactured boat on the planet. Then in 1980, he realizes, like, you know what? I bet people would really appreciate a place where they could just drive their truck, pick up the boat on the trailer, be able to look at all the fishing lures, all the stuff I have for sale. I'm gonna build an enormous retail place. He builds the world's first Bass Pro Shops outdoor world. It is 300,000 square feet. There's fish tanks. There's
I've only been on
exotic
Bass Pro
animals
Shops, I think,
stuffed all
probably
over the
like
walls.
twice.
It's not just a store. It's basically like a dead zoo, except the fish are alive. It's basically Willy Wonka's chocolate factory for rednecks, okay? People travel from hours and hours away to make their pilgrimage to Bass Pro Shops. Okay, I can't stress to you enough how big of a deal the first Bass Pro Shops was, okay? To this day, the Bass Pro Shop in Springfield, Missouri is considered the largest tourist attraction in the state of Missouri. This one singular store gets over 4 million customers a year, okay? That's like 11,000 people a day inside of this bait and tackle shop. Okay, and at this point you're like, wow, that's a lot of people. No, that's a metric fuck ton of people going to buy fishing lures, okay? Disneyland gets 40,000 people a day. You've got
the only Bass Pro Shop I've been to is the one in
and all you're doing is selling fishing equipment.
This is in Newport,
Johnny Morris
Virginia.
is literally the Walt Disney of rednecks at this point.
Somewhere in Virginia.
How
I
can
don't
you
remember
keep saying
exactly
everybody
where.
that shops at Bass Pro Shops is a redneck? Don't do the whole I'm gonna get offended over literally nothing bit, okay? Nobody cares, okay? At the end of the day, there's only two types of outdoor people, okay? There's Patagonia wearing outdoor people, and there's Bass Pro Shop outdoor people, okay? You've got outdoor people that want to save the environment, you've got outdoor people that want to eat the environment, okay? If you are the ones that want to eat the environment, sorry, you're a redneck. That's just how it goes.
I think we offended somebody out here. That ain't funny as it says.
When you find something that works, you keep doing it. So we open up another.
Okay, I'm gonna give the video a minute there to like not be audio spazzing. You good, buddy?
Another one, and another one.
Another one.
And then another one. And next thing you know, he's got over 200 Bass Pro Shops outdoor worlds all over the country. So now at this point, Johnny Morris has built the business out wide, and the only place left to go is up and down. He vertically integrates the entire thing. So Johnny Morris figures, okay, well, who's upstream of me? I'm the middleman. I basically buy shit from a factory. I sell it in my store. I deliver it to the customer. Cool. I'm going to go backwards, and I'm going to start buying all the factories that make the shit in my stores. He buys out the boat company that makes all these boats, which to this day is still the most popular boat in America and the company that makes the most boats in the world. He buys the company that manufactures the four-wheelers that he sells in his stores. He buys up anything and everything that he can, and then he makes that the Bass Pro brand. And in doing so, his brand is now absolutely everywhere. It's on boats, it's on ATVs, it's on clothing, it's on dining room sets, it's on fishing equipment. It's absolutely everywhere, to the point that everybody in America knows that brand. It's one of the most recognizable brands of all time. And in doing so, it's kind of polarizing, right? There's only two types of people in regards to Bass Pro Shop. There's people that like it and want to shop there, and those people are going to buy his merch and rep the company because they think it's awesome. And then there's people that want to make fun of the people that shop at Bass Pro Shop, and guess what they're going to do? They're also going to buy his merch to wear it ironically in an attempt to make fun of those people. Either way, Johnny Morris is making money off of both ends selling his merch. It's absolutely brilliant. Not only is he conquering his own market, he's figured out a way to monetize the haters as well.
Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. I was too busy blocking out the haters.
So Johnny Morris has done it. He's vertically integrated everything. Like anything
I've
to do
never
with
seen that
fishing
clip
in
before till
America,
now.
he is inescapable. Like you got to go through this guy if you want to be able to catch fish, essentially. So he's like, okay, well, I need to expand into related markets. What's related to fishing? Hunting. Most people that fish hunt, vice versa. So there's another company, almost the same exact business model and storyline to him, but it's the hunting version, and that's Cabela's. So he buys Cabela's out for $5 billion and combines the brands together. After acquiring Cabela's, there's only one more company that he's actually competing with, and that's Sportsman's Warehouse. So he goes to buy them out too, and he gets like all the way to the very end. They're about to sign the contract, and Bass Pro Shops is about to own Sportsman's Warehouse, and the government agency, the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, has to step in and stop the purchase of Sportsman's Warehouse, because if he buys it, they're going to declare it a legal monopoly. He is not allowed to buy up any more of the competition.
This is the worst.
At this point, Johnny Morris has essentially won capitalism. The government has had to come in and say, no, you're way too good at selling fishing lures. You're not allowed to do this, because then you're literally going to be the only option in the entire country. We've got to stop you. Here's the gold star for winning capitalism. Great work. Enjoy being a billionaire. have a nice day. So Johnny Morris is like, okay, the government stepped in, not allowed to get any bigger at doing what I'm already doing, so my only other option now is to either just call it a day and retire, or I can expand into a related market. And at that point, he realizes, like, okay, I'm gonna do tourism. I'm already kind of in tourism already. I have the #1 tourist destination in Missouri, and my other stores are in the top 5 destinations in like 8 other states. So he gets more into tourism. He starts opening up Bass Pro Shop resorts, golf courses. He has a fucking music festival. And then one day, the Memphis Pyramid comes up for sale. And I know what you're thinking, why the fuck is there a pyramid in Memphis? Great question. Well, in the 1950s, there was this architect that wanted to make a big-ass pyramid. He actually wanted to make 3 pyramids, but it never got that far. He never got around to it in his life, but his son also became an architect, and in the 1980s, he resurrected the idea, got the funding, and built the 7th largest pyramid in the world on the Mississippi River in Memphis. Right out of the gate, the Memphis Pyramid is extremely polarizing. You've got taxpayers that are like, I don't want you to take my tax money and build a giant fucking pyramid. No. And then there's other people that are like, fuck yeah, this is America, let's build a giant pyramid. And then you've got people coming out of left field like Alex Jones claiming that the people behind it are part of the occult and they're building a secret satanic worship temple or some shit.
These guys are admittedly into the occult. You can just look up their names. They're all over the local newspaper.
But originally, it was an event center. People were going to have basketball games there, boxing matches. Mike Tyson fought there. They were going to have concerts, all kinds of stuff. So they started building it in 1989. It finally opens up in 1991. And right before the Memphis Pyramid is about to open up, the maintenance crew goes up to the very top, and at the very top, there's a metal box welded at the top of the pyramid. And they're like, what the fuck is that? So they get the project manager. They end up chipping away at this welding. They rip this box down. Inside this metal box is a smaller wooden box. So they pull that up, they open it, and there's like a of just incense and perfume and shit that comes out. And inside of the box is a fucking crystal skull inside of a velvet cloth.
I'm sorry, what?
Don't worry, it gets weirder somehow. So they track down who put the crystal skull there, and somebody finally admits to doing it, and it is the founder of the Hard Rock Cafe and the House of Blues, Isaac Tigrit, because originally there was going to be a Hard Rock Cafe inside of the pyramid. Still raises the question, why the fuck are we putting crystal skulls at the top like it's an Indiana Jones?
Rare question. Why not?
Tigrit's reasoning was, I'm not making this up, I promise you. I can show you the interviews where he talks about it. When Isaac Tigrit was 27 years old, he was drunk driving his Porsche and crashed it, careening it off a 400-foot cliff. And as the car is rolling down the cliff, an Indian man appeared and like held him.
Always
through
aliens.
the crash, and he walks out of this car wreck. The car is just completely obliterated, and he walks out without so much as a scratch or a bruise.
He appeared instantly in this room. He picked me up and put me on a bed. He pulled my tongue out. I'm watching this from above. He places his hand on my chest and pushes on my chest, and the spirit went right back into my body.
A couple years later, he's in a bookstore, and he sees the Indian man that held him through this car crash on the back of a book, and finds out that it's his Indian spiritual leader named Sai Baba. So he goes to India multiple times, ends up giving this guy millions and millions of dollars, and becomes best buddies with this Indian spiritual leader, Sai Baba. And when Sai Baba finds out that they're building a massive pyramid in Memphis, and they're putting a Hard Rock Cafe on the top, Sai Baba gives Isaac this crystal skull and gives him instructions on how to mount it at the very top, because it's gonna please the cosmos or put out good vibes or some shit. So that's what Isaac Tigrit does. Then fast forward, the maintenance guys find it, they take it down, they track Isaac Tigrit down, and Isaac Tigrit is like, you need to put it back up there or you're gonna disrupt the cosmos. At which point they're like, no, that's fucking weird, we're not doing that. Alex Jones is already breathing down our neck saying that we're some satanic cult.
The friggin' frog's gay.
No, we're not mounting crystal skulls at the top of the fucking pyramid. So then people find out about this. People start saying that now the pyramid is cursed. And start to look at the truth, because the first night it opens up for a concert, the sewage backs up and ruins the entire event. From here, it's just bad thing after bad thing after bad thing happening. One of the maintenance crew guys plummets to his death. People keep falling down the staircases because the stairs are too steep, because they built a concert venue inside of a fucking pyramid. The seats are uncomfy because they made them too small, trying to cram as many people into this auditorium as possible. Again, in because it's a pyramid, which is not a great shape to have a concert venue to begin with. Eventually, a bunch of musicians refused to even play that venue because apparently the acoustics inside of a pyramid aren't that great.
Imagine
the
that.
entire venue just becomes synonymous with not having a good time. It's a huge waste of taxpayer money. Memphis is actually losing money every single month keeping this place open, and the people in Memphis start referring to it as the Tomb of Doom. So by 2007, the entire venue is just shut down. Nobody wants to go there anymore, and now there's just a big, empty, haunted pyramid on the Mississippi River in Memphis, Tennessee. Cue Johnny Morris, the guy expanding his hospitality and resort business, and he's like, you know what? I could put a Bass Pro Shop in that motherfucker, it'd be awesome. At face value, it's funny. Why wouldn't you go to a giant pyramid to buy a fishing lure? That's hilarious. But we're also gonna call it the Redneck Mecca. Why is that funny? Well, because Mecca is the holiest place in the Muslim faith, and every single Muslim on the planet is obligated to go there at least once in their life if they're physically and financially capable of doing so. We're gonna quietly insinuate that every redneck in North America has a religious obligation to make a pilgrimage to Memphis so that they can buy a fishing lure from our pyramid. Then we're gonna put a 100-room resort at the bottom of it. We're gonna have a bowling alley. There's gonna be an indoor swamp, a shooting range. It's gonna be fucking awesome. I don't know what you're thinking. Why on earth would you want to put your retail business inside of a haunted pyramid? Because your customer base is rednecks. You want to know who doesn't give a shit about being haunted?
Rednecks.
If anything, it makes it better. You know what's more fun than being able to go to a pyramid to buy a fucking fishing lure? Being able to go to a pyramid, buy a fishing lure with the slight chance that you're gonna get to shoot a ghost with a shotgun loaded with rock salt, okay? Okay, these are rowdy, fearless individuals. These are who Charlie Daniels was talking about, okay? If you told a story about any other demographic on the planet that started out with they made a deal with Satan, it would be a cautionary tale where this guy loses his soul. Not rednecks. Rednecks are gonna beat that motherfucker in a fiddle contest, win a golden fiddle because they can. So the pyramid being cursed, definitely not a downside. If anything, it's an upside. The only real downside, to be honest with you, is that, well, you're creating a tourist attraction for rednecks, and if they're staying overnight, they're probably going to get drunk and rowdy and get naked and take a cannonball into the fish tank.
Man made quite a splash at a Bass Pro Shop when he swam naked. Police say he crashed his car in the parking lot, took off all of his clothes, he jumped into the water yelling cannonball.
And then, of course, there's the cost. Obviously, buying the world's 7th largest pyramid that's on the river on prime real estate is going to be pretty expensive, whether it's haunted or not. So Johnny Morris doesn't really know if it's going to be a good business idea. He definitely doesn't want to lose money, so he just kind of like sets it in the hands of God and lets him make the decision. He decides, you know what? I'm just going to schedule a fishing trip on the Mississippi River right near the pyramid, and I'm going to go fishing for catfish, and if I catch a really big catfish, that's going to be my sign that I'm going to buy this pyramid. And sure enough, Johnny Morris goes on this fishing trip and catches a 34-pound fucking catfish in the shadow of the pyramid. Okay, do you understand the significance of what I've just told you? This is the most American thing that's ever happened, all right? A pyramid got built in Memphis. It's the 7th largest pyramid on the planet that people now think is haunted because some millionaire that opened up the Hard Rock Cafe was drunk driving his Porsche and had a vision that he was saved by an Indian spirit guide, so he had him place a crystal skull at the top.
You can make a religion out of this.
And run out of business, and then it got brought back by some dude that became a billionaire by selling fishing lures out the ass end of a liquor store in Springfield, Missouri. So in conclusion, I guess I don't know. I don't know how I got here, to be honest with you. I guess if we could draw anything from this, pick whatever you want to do in life, even if it's something as simple as selling fishing lures and get so outrageously good at it that you can then
maybe too much of a trip for me, honestly. And I don't really think I'm a redneck.
I guess.
Your devil worship fails.
I don't think I fit that bill.
The country boy can't survive. The John Deere hat wins. You lose, we win. Your little devil palace is falling down.
At this point, I'm convinced that there's no U.S.-based company that does anything normal whatsoever. Coca-Cola's
You're asking a lot.
Water, Waffle House is being used by FEMA to track natural disasters, and apparently Bass Pro Shop is an outdoor monopoly that's getting involved in investing in haunted pyramids.
Oh my lord. That is wild. Alright. America! Alright. I need to see if those guys are still doing the thing or not. I need to go look. Because that will dictate where I'm going from here. Because I may or may not have been invited to, like, a podcast of sorts. But I know the thing they're using only, like, supports, like, someone say it's, like, 6 people. And I see 7 of us in the chat. Honestly, it'd probably be soup. Because I still got some, like, leftover soup. But, and soup is honestly just really easy to fucking heat up. Especially if I'm joining them. Got the burger and fry. Hell yeah. Okay. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna grab something to munch on. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. And if I'm not doing the whole thing that I was invited to, we'll just do like the last couple videos I have loaded up, and then we'll call it. Anyways, I'll be right back.